Hello.
Oh,
Stream. Right. Good.
is that better?
I can hear myself back. Oh, good Lord, that's a feedback loop. Right. Okay. We're gonna do that all over again because this is show business. Welcome to the
Yeah.
UKEL Open Qualifiers Day 2. I'm myself, Kaya's here. Josh's mic is broken. He'll be joining us shortly, and then we'll have a tri-cast with some of the NLC2 casters coming up at the end of the day for the last elimination match. Kaya, how you doing?
Yeah,
Again.
good. Obviously, back again. Yesterday didn't put me off watching any of the games, and for some reason or another, I agreed to do a second day of this.
He's
Um,
back.
but yeah, no, should be an interesting day. Obviously, for a lot of these teams, this is their final chance. For a lot of these teams, though, they might get a second crack of the whip if they fail this first round. It will get to a stage where we'll start to get a better picture of who are our kind of top teams that we're looking at when going into the next stage, which is obviously an exciting double elimination round, in order to kind of finally distinguish who our four extra teams will be joining the four that we already currently have in the first division of the UKL. So yeah, some very kind of pressured games, and obviously going into today with Lions Creed Lionesses versus NXT, it is the last chance for both of these teams to carry on in this tournament.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm just going to take a quick pause. So that's true, and there's a reasonable amount of stakes. I've just logged into League of Legends to help get us all into games. Insomnia, the gaming festival,
Mm.
on the front page
It
of
is
the client,
beautiful to
if you are
see.
logging in from the UK. What a win!
It
What a
is a
win!
massive win. It's good to see. And then what was it? The UK League of Legends Twitter account that no one knew we had, and
Oh,
yet
we've had
has
it. It's
mass.
rebranded. It's rebranded
Yeah,
like 3 times. It's
yeah,
like UK Nordic now. They closed the last UK one, which had more followers. And it was a whole
yeah.
thing.
But who knew? And then that's tweeting out about UK League of Legends. It's a great week for the UK scene. It really is.
It's absolutely magical. We're just looking to get into games, so we're gonna have to stall for a little bit longer. As we try and find these people. I hear some pings in the background though. Zoe, have you done it? Are you in? Oh, Zoe with the hookup into today's game.
We are
Amazing.
being well and truly treated once again to the lovely Zoe in production. Hopefully
Just
this time she doesn't have
absolutely
to
magical.
balance 8 different cameras and
It
10
was
different
9
mic
in the end.
feeds.
With Jake, it was 9 guests, and Zoe, the Discord call was struggling with 10 people. It was magnificent to watch. I'm
It
trying to
was.
go back and get some of the previous. Oh, there we go. Past matches. There's no results on the stage. It's all broken. Let's have a look at how the Lions Creed Lionesses and NXT Esports got here. In round 1, NXT beat Play Around Jungle. I believe one of our teams is already up against the ropes. And the Lions Creed Lionesses fell to Retirement Home Returns. So it's a sort of a
Oh,
barometer. Retirement Home Returns bit back, I think, ferociously. I think they're 2-1. That's one of the upper teams. We're not too worried about
yep.
that. Lions Creed Lionesses defeated Verzik Esports in round 2. Which is, I think Verzik also struggling to hold on in the tournament. And Volpine Esports defeated NXT. So these are kind of middle of the pack teams. They're struggling a bit. And Lions Creed Lioness is in round 3. That is a difficult matchup. Ex Machina from the University of Exeter.
Yep.
So a close fight. And Revolt Chemtech beat NXT. Revolt Chemtech, another middle of the pack team that's seeming to do well, seeming to live and thrive on the power of teamwork.
Yeah, so interesting one on the Verzik roster. They actually beat Ex Machina, but then lost to Lions Creed Lionesses. And then they beat Retirement Home Returns. So
This is
obviously,
like a whole, it's not rock paper scissors anymore. There's like 20 things and they all just shift
exactly.
slightly. That's an everyone beats everyone Mexican standoff situation.
Well, exactly. So Verzik are actually sat currently at 2-1. So obviously they're playing. They're going to be going up against Nuclear Vikings in a different game. So they're obviously playing for their qualification hopes
Mhm.
up there. But it does seem like Retirement Homes returns must be. They're going up against Paragon. which is a very fun matchup. Obviously, we saw Paragon in the last game yesterday, losing out to obviously the very strong Tempest, who qualified yesterday. But obviously now they're going up against Retirement Home Returns, which is the team that obviously has Kumiku, Articuno, and the Heathen in it as well. So that'll be an interesting matchup, definitely, to see who comes out on top in that one. But yeah, but we shall see.
We shall see. That'll be interesting, way.
But that's an interesting one because Retirement Homes Returns are also sat at 2-1 with their only loss being against Versic. So,
maybe a slow wake up for Retirement Home. I feel like we're gonna maybe do a bit of discussion on how you run a Swiss tournament later with kind of my card game experience, because I feel like the admins may be slightly overwhelmed right now, and that's okay. That's just the way it's gonna be. But
yeah, it does have its place, but I think when you get masses amount
Swiss
of
is
teams,
great, but unfortunately we've started sinning. So I've like, you can run Swiss tournaments with easily up to like 5,000 people. The system is robust for a large number of teams. The problem is they have to play all the games, and if you start cutting the edges of Swiss, the rounds in front of you get deleted. So you end up playing very few games. It's even more brutal than Swiss can be in League of Legends, because best of one is really tough. If you give buys, you have to give them to the lowest seed.
Yeah.
And then the future matches are not completely ruined by someone winning one match and then going 4-0 from nowhere because they don't play against people anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's random seed. The whole point is it's random. But anyway,
I think that's where we got to yesterday, towards maybe the end, when I think there was an odd amount of teams, and like we said yesterday, teams were playing against teams they had already faced, and some random teams were being given buys, and it did get a little bit messy towards the end.
Yeah.
But
If you give a buy, you have to like pair everything fairly from top down, and then you go to the bottom and it's like, oh well, you can't play a game, you get a win. But the idea is, if you are struggling and you're at the bottom, you're just going to lose the next few matches. Anyway, talking of teams on the edge of elimination, on the edge of glory, we're going to cut to the finest. Graphic design is my passion. Show off. These are the teams remaining in the tournament where legacies are born, heroes are forged, fate hangs in the balance. The UKEL Open Qualifiers. That is Project Paradox, Broad, Revolt, Chemtech, Paragon, Sons of Ivan, Volpine Esports, Lions Creed, NXT, Exeter Esports, Exe Machina, Rise Gaming, Nuclear Vikings, Purify, and that thing in the middle that has no idea. That's Verzik Esports, according to production. You guys have got a real logo going on there. That's some Super Nintendo stuff going on.
That is a Raid Boss final logo, that is, for Verzik there. So, yeah, very interesting. Obviously, we're starting to whistle down the amount of teams that we have left in this tournament. The top 3 seeds have obviously been decided yesterday. Arcadia Tempest and Sindy's Nuts. I believe they'll work out as an order of Tempest being the first seed, Arcadia second, and then Sindy's Nuts will be the third seed going in. So we're going to be deciding the rest of the seeding for Double Elim this afternoon. But we will obviously have to say goodbye to a couple of teams along the way, sadly. But it's not the end of the road for them. There are spaces in NLC Div 2 as well. So I'm not quite sure how that will work out, whether everyone that makes Double Elim will either be in 1 or 2, or maybe there might be a couple free spaces. And obviously, we might have a couple of teams drop out after maybe getting into NLC 2 with higher hopes of being an NLC 1. That is obviously another thing that does happen, sadly, in League of Legends, that teams have higher hopes, they don't reach them, and they kind of just go, well, we're not going to compete anymore.
Did I ever tell you the story about Vector's first time qualifying to the UKEL?
No.
So before this is before they got sort of me involved, and Josh, who might be with us. Quick microphone test.
I have spawned.
Yes, spawned in and we can hear him.
He has.
No camera because Logitech has completely broken everything, but at least I got my mic working and it's not cussing out anymore.
Yeah, let's go. We love some drivers. we could maybe fix it tonight for tomorrow.
He has duct taped his mic together.
There's so much duct tape all over his desk. It's like being held up. It's all it's doing.
Multi-million.
Go on.
Yeah, it's a multi-millionaire setup. It's,
Yeah.
This is what French esports can pay for.
It's the French's finest work.
It's just a piece of cheese dripping off the end.
Yeah.
Vector was so confident in their qualification to the UKLC when it had an open bottom. Everyone who made it like so far would get into the UKL.
Oh, yeah.
And was the UKLC, like last spot or something. And they got the ego speed roster to do that.
Okay.
They signed an academy team for the UKEL before the tournament.
I remember.
Before anything qualified. And then they missed out on qualifiers for everything and had this academy roster as their only team. It's beautiful, and you can see their top laner. Come support Lineup Sprinter in game for Arcadia.
Yeah, did you
further in the tournament? Because,
did you see the clip from?
I told him to put it on Twitter. It showed up in my DMs. It's like, look at what I did. Look, like, why didn't you stream this game? I was just like, oh, okay. It just bashes down the Nexus's Trundle. I wonder, we can probably show that. We're gonna do some production magic because Zoe's just an absolute hero as we wait for Lions Creed Lionesses versus NXT's Pro Draft to get underway. Lucky Rune says, hope you're watching X Games so I can lose all my channel points. Well, I'll threaten you with that now. If they're up for a decent game in round 2, we'll look into it.
Oh, someone's raring and ready to start betting away everything. We do it
all those seconds, minutes after minutes. That's what the channel points are called. So you only got a few seconds. This is maybe implying that you're gambling with more than your money. Anyway. Kaya, any teams you're looking to see, like you want to sort of get a glimpse into as we go through the
Let
day?
me have a quick rundown of the teams and maybe rosters that we haven't seen so far. Let me just have a little sprint down. It would be nice to get a potential loser of Paragon versus Retirement Home Returns. That'd be a quite interesting one. And maybe we can go back to maybe a Broad and Friends potentially. Obviously, they turned around their fortunes from the first game that we watched yesterday. Brought it back to being 2-1. They're up against G5, who we also saw yesterday. That is a Divinis roster. So that is a really exciting game as well. G5 versus Broad, Paragon, Retirement Home Returns. Having a look at what else we have. There are a couple of names. Diamond 4 Gamers made it through as well, Temporal. They have made it to day 2, and they're against Revolt Chemtech as well. So maybe just out of spite, we maybe watch
not
them.
even spite, just like exacerbated curiosity. What on earth goes on in their games?
Yeah, exactly. Be interesting to see what Diamonds for Gamers have been cooking in their last couple of games. But obviously that does mean that they will have to get through Revolt Chemtech first, so it's not guaranteed that we will be able to see that team. Revolt Chemtech have faced some pretty tough competition. They played against Sindy's Nuts and lost. They played against Paragon and lost. But their one win is against NXT, who we are going to be seeing today.
Oh my!
It is all connected. It is all. They are all interlinked.
Everything. That's just wow. Talking of which, I'm panicking. I've had a notification that my anniversary is in a week, and I've bet nothing. Anyway, talking about
I can TP base.
Sign up sprint.
TP base. It's only Poppy.
I don't know if we can get sound or maybe it's just not for us, but there are some beautiful.
I'm up in 5. Don't go too early.
G5 actually sieging up right now, getting around that inhibitor, and Ethan deciding to teleport and completely destroy it. And while the G5 members will be coming through, they do get onto their Nexus towers. Ethan just decides.
End the fucking game! End the game! Cancel the base!
I'm trying to. The minion's blocking me! Please, the minion's blocking me! What are these minions? It's fine.
Let's go!
From an early G5 lead into one troll boy teleporting into the base.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
That is just peak League of Legends right there.
That is magic. Like, Zoe's so powerful. We could just I shoot like OBS is like tough stuff, right? Like I normally like have it in studio so I can fix it all the way I want and then click it. Like, so you realize what you've done. Like we have the power. It's just, ooh.
Yes. Oh, amazing stuff. The funniest, one of the things obviously in that clip, you've got Poppy furiously trying to clear the wave, trying to knock the Trundle away.
Hold the
and
gates!
there's just Pravius just kind of with his massive meat mallet just going, I smack and tower down. It's one of the best things as well.
It's well relaxed.
Exactly, and comms are always exciting when you hear them. The frantic, like, oh no, we've just lost a fight. Here we go. Just complete ignoring of the Poppy's whole existence. Cormac ferociously trying to stop this Trundle, but
300 APM attack guiding movement just around.
He just takes 2 tower shots and just heals up massively because, you know, Trundle things. And you can see that Kindred gets a kill in the base, but it's just still not enough. This Trundle is just not dropping at all.
He's just in and around. He's
Amazing.
Peak comedy, well done, Ethan. Well done, Ethan.
Amazing
See you there.
stuff.
See you there in chat. NXT up against the Lions Creed Lionesses. I've done very little prep. 2 tanks taken away though early in phase, so a little bit of targeting towards Gertrude up in this top lane, and Neferia as well.
Exactly.
Exciting.
Obviously, for a lot of the leagues that you watch nowadays, Neferia's obviously disabled because they're playing in 13-15, I believe. Majority of them
enabled for LEC.
Was it enabled for LEC? Did they move to 16? Did they?
It's open for EU Masters as well.
Oh, okay. So I'm guessing they must be on this patch then. As 15, it was disabled. So
I think it was
disabled for you guys.
Yeah,
not for everyone.
Amagusta played it in Plains.
They did. I didn't cast that one when I was on after. It don't think it went so well, did it?
No, they got completely stumped. But I'm really like 50-50 on this champion. Sometimes it looks really good, other times it looks so useless. So
I watched Kerberos play it in solo queue, and it was
it's good
early lanes where you could just like throw 1 Q, and then like the second Q like was whatever because it's the same bleed damage, just faster. Like just like got out of the lane so easy, and some lanes it was like you're playing a 2002 champ in a 2012 game, and it's like not even okay.
Okay, so obviously we've had the Poppy ban away was the last ban from Lions Creed, and the Jarvan B1 has been picked up from NXT. Maybe a reaction to seeing the Poppy being kind of banned away. Poppy obviously a really nice kind of counter into that type of champion. Obviously another champion that Poppy is very happy into is the Rakan that is open. Obviously still for loads of patches now been one of the top supports out there. Maybe we see Isaiah Rakan coming out from Lions Creed Lionesses here.
Yeah, Deja Vu, the AD carry for this side. Quite skilled, quite powerful.
You could also look at something like the Rel coming out here as well. That's a typical Poppy ban. Goes into the Rel, very good into the Jarvan as well. Like good with this kind of front to back composition and creates a lot of space for the AD carry. So
it doesn't get you out of the ult, but gets you out of danger. And that's sort of the imposition there.
Kind of surprised that no Tristana being picked up here compared to every other series that we've watched. There's the priority doesn't seem like any team cares about it here. Maybe that's because of the Maokai ban coming through. Viego.
Okay, this makes me reminisce back to watching my team Venom Crest. Viego is a high priority for Alonski in a lot of our series. So it'll be interesting to see how Lions Creed Lionesses pilot that into the composition they kind of bring together. Looks like the Zeri is being hovered for NXT as a kind of counter into seeing the Viego and Zaya being locked in from them. And it will be locked in for NXT.
This is risky in my mind. I think a Nautilus here on 3 for Lions Creed Linus is really quite complete. It's a decent first phase. Not sure what NXT is going to pair with this. Always take that pick away themselves.
I think coming in with the Nautilus gives a bit more lockdown to the Zeri. It's fine into Jarvan, it's kind of just exists, and then you can kind of come in with this.
They're going to take the Rakan themselves and deny the Lovers bot lane.
Yeah, I really think Nautilus good here. Good into lane, good into Zeri. Really good. I think on 4 here, you're probably looking for a mid laner. I think you're looking at like Nico. You're looking at your Ari kind of like 2v2 mid jungle champions. I think Ari actually looks really nice in this composition. It gives you out the Jarvan Cataclysm really easily. You can jump onto the Zeri with the Nautilus follow up. I think that's probably the best tier.
Enabling Viego 2v2 and like whoever can be present around mid and just picking off small things is just so nice. The best way to play that champion.
I do wonder if NXT have kind of just picked Rakan out of wanting to deny the partnership with Zaya, not really thinking about how it fits in with what they want. I'm guessing they wanted something that could maybe follow up from a Jarvan engage potentially.
This is a pretty good diving duo. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
you do eventually have to trigger Zaya's ultimate one way or another. So having like a throwaway that can then fall back into the team, pretty decent.
Yeah, exactly. But we're seeing Jax taken away, so it'll be interesting to see where the priority falls in terms of bans for both of these.
So bizarre to ban Poppy and Jax.
Yeah. I mean, I think on blue side, as long as you have other threats going into the Zaya, I think Rakan's a fine takeaway. It fits well with the rest of the composition. As long as you're not the primary initiator into fights, then you're not going to have to worry too much about the Zaya ultimate, because this champion is very good at going for flanks, going from these kind of attacks from the side that Zaya hates so much, right? So I think it's both sides. I think are pretty happy with their first three so far.
Yeah, pretty open, pretty even. Lions Creed Lioness is denying some of the sort of spice in the top lane. The Jax, we've seen lots of damage, lots of continuity. But the Yone, something a bit more recent, something a bit more sort of coming back after the mythic item rework did those brothers so dirty.
Okay, and the Malphite as well taken away from NXT. So we've got quite a lot open here. What are we looking to kind of go for on this 4? Do we go? I think
this
obviously
is the Ari. I think if it's not
open.
Ari, like Lissandra fulfills like a similar position, and even better, like just blows the Rakan open. There we go. We have got a delay on this. I promise. We're not drafting for these teams.
Really nice pickup from Lions Creed Lionesses. So now NXT. Let's see what they figure out, what they're going to finish off this roster with.
Into Lissandra, there's a bunch of like things that can just about stay away from her in the wave where she's strongest, and that's normally how I think about approaching the characters. It's got to be able to stand up in front of Zeri, most importantly.
Oh wow!
I mean, ultimately, you need some form of strong lanes here. I think they do end up going for Caston, which is not what I'd assume would be. Right now, there's a lot of scaling on blue side, right? I mean, maybe something like
NXT just opting to do a season 2. They're just going to go 40 minutes. I think.
Do we have any information if that is a proxy pick? Because we saw that teams, even on draft lows, still proxy pick.
So it was picked so early as well. Like, I don't think it can be.
And then we saw the reverse proxy pick as well. So
as far as I'm aware, it was casted in buffs this patch, but they weren't documented on the actual patch notes.
Okay.
So
they snuck in. You know, I don't think I'd mind Cassidin into Cassante so much. I wonder if it's a flex.
Potentially. Obviously,
we're going back. That's some deeper lore. Tom Kench would absolutely eviscerate Cassidin, so that's not going to be true.
Are we going to see a Thomas Kench top?
They've subbed in Watley for this game.
He's got no arms, but he's ready. He's back to be the UKEL once more.
This is paying homage to Mr. Watley. This is obviously someone who dedicates a lot of their time to watching his VODs and his tutorials and his guides of how to decimate the top lane with this frog.
As we quickly flash back, I believe that was last World's predictions there on the screen. Yeah, Tom Kench. I believe, I don't know if he's queued up for buffs or they're a thing as well. We're being told it's a Gertrude the Pony special. So Gertrude gonna bring out the pocket pick here. Quite interesting. I think Watley did hit top 200 as well recently on the Kench. So there's some prowess there in the solo lane. The grey health, not something you can just plow through with anymore. But I think the damage and the stuns and sort of the sequencing of that champion is the way that is. And we're being told we're leaking streams. So those flashes on our side not going out live. You guys don't get to see that Zoe's wallpaper at home is just a tactical screenshot of the world's pick'ems.
Just reminding us every now and again.
Yeah,
just little flashes.
Who we should have picked. Don't know. Can't remember who it was already, but it's the way it was. Right. Scores on doors, gentlemen. NXT, Lions Creed, Lionesses. We're in danger. We're in trouble. We're in the middle of the pack. And Swiss, with exiting ends, is a brutal system. Who's got your vote in this game?
Previous?
I mean, it's kind of hard going from drafts. I think blue side.
Yeah, just from draft perspective, you
Mm.
know, the player difference, I don't expect it to be too high, but you're
Yeah.
right, at this level can make a big twist.
Yeah, I mean, blue side has a lot of scaling in the composition. You know, I think if the game goes to this 40-50 minute mark, it's going to be very, very hard for the red side composition to kind of work versus that, especially with the Sandra pick. It's something that sets up very well on objectives. And I think if red side can really push the game forward with the strike stacking, with herald timers, I think they can really make a big dent in this game and they can look to close it out nice and clean and early. So ultimately, I would probably give the edge to the red side composition right now. But, you know, it's League of Legends, anything can happen. We've seen so many teams sort of throw away massive leads in this sort of tournament so far. So, yeah, but I'll put my money on red side for this game.
It's tough. Kaya on a rainy Tuesday night in London, if you're from Lions Creed, or wherever NXT is based. Could you do it on a dark Tuesday night with the rain coming down?
Could who do it?
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's been a long day. I've been in and out of the -80 freezer. I got no fingers. The brain will have to warm up as we go. Who's gonna do it?
Yep. Just we're getting to the end now.
Just the struggles.
Just the struggles.
Is the struggles your pick for this game? I'm going to take red side lean as well. I'm a huge fan of trying to execute Kassadin in these compositions because it relies not only on your opponent, sort of, you give them that bit of a lead, but then they actually have to like execute on it. If this game does go later, we might get that UKEL very special where the Kassadin's just unleashed at 16 and can completely dominate the map. Because even though stuff like the Lissandra will give you the lockdown, it's quite tough to actually execute and take out the Kassadin. He'll just be ready again, and it removes some of your own defensive. That said, the red draft should have the impetus in the early game, should have the ability to defend their Xayah, play through that nice and easy. So I think the Lions Creed Lioness is slightly favored in this game. Chat, who's got your vote? We'll open up the predictions in just a second. For you, it's just not true, man. There's technical difficulties. Josh is not scared of you. He's calling Josh self-conscious. Josh, is it self-conscious or is it just Logitech?
Can you confirm or deny you have mud walls and straw ceiling?
It's not fully mud. I do have wooden beams in the house.
Oh,
tasteful.
nice.
Tasteful.
It's a little cottage, you know. It's this nice little rustic, you know.
Would you call it a shack or more like a bungalow type feel?
I'm not. I mean, Wales isn't that much of a kind of like non-country, you know. Like.
I just realised we've got sort of an extra guest, Kaya. With your lights on, it's very evident that there's a portrait in your mirror.
Oh. So I just like. There you go.
I don't know who that is, but they're spookily creeping up behind you.
That's a baby me if you can see it well enough.
Aww.
So
I'm not going to push you into a potential childhood bedroom tour. That might be what's going on later if we need to fill some time.
It is an absolute mess in here. We're on the verge of moving out into a brand new home, me and my partner.
Dun, dun, dun.
So there is a lot of stuff everywhere.
Oh, bless him. He's a married man now. You've missed your chance, Twitch chat. You could have taken Kaya away and whisked him away to your home.
I'm not wifeyed up just yet. So
well, moving in's a big step, and we're gonna call that committed.
Just ruined all my side ones. Don't really need to app me out like that, Temporal. They're not gonna react well.
We've been asked our predictions for the top 4 into Division 1 at the end of the next tournament. We can have a think about some other teams right now. I think Tempest pretty much a shoe in for top 4.
Yes, definitely. Obviously, it's hard to look past the current 3 that already got kind of, I guess, put in as there being 3-0. I mean, you could argue maybe some, tougher opponents for other teams. That's why they didn't qualify yesterday, or some easier kind of routes into becoming 3-0. Obviously, we have our current 3 at the moment. I think obviously Paragon will still be there. There'll be a couple of others as well that we can maybe get round to seeing today. But
I think G5 might make it. I'm pretty confident. Like their first loss was an absolute steal by Arcadia, so I think they are kind of on that level.
Well, yeah, exactly. There wasn't much obviously separating them two. It did come down to a base race, so it doesn't tell the full story. One being 3-0 and the other one being 2-1. So we'll have to see if they learn from it and come back. But as we are on to Summoner's Rift, we're looking through. First point of call is looking at the names we have on the screen. We have Scooby Dooby Doo as support for NXT. We have La 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 in the mid lane for Lions Creed Lionesses. So some they're not letting us down with names today. We had some classics yesterday, so glad to see there's a trend going on.
All right, your prediction is live in Twitch chat. Will NXT from the blue side for sure, back from the depths of UK history, be able to take on the Lions Creed Lionesses? Oh, interesting. Hang on, Yusa is playing AD carry. They've got Vendetta in jungle.
I think Yusa is playing jungle in the other games now.
Oh, okay. A bit of a change up for Lions Creed. I thought Deja Vu was in AD carry, but clearly a little bit of a last minute switch. Not familiar with Vendetta. We'll have to see how the game is as we go into these first few minutes. Pings in mid lane. I can't help but think the 2v2 of Lissandra Viego is like, it's second only to Ari Viego in my mind. I'm looking across at this Kassadin. I'm just feeling sorry for Pickering right now. Like the Jarvan's gonna have to do so much work to avoid mid.
Yep, this Kassadin will also have to watch out quite a lot. We might see a bit of a tension with the ease of execution between the Lissandra and the Viego once they start ticking around into those like level 6s and everything. But where do we see the main focus in this game kind of coming down to? Is it the mid lane? Are we looking for maybe one side's bot lane to be ahead? Because I think this top matchup is just one of those that you kind of let them
little bit of a sleeper. Let's try to go slightly wide in the bottom lane. And we kind of expect both of these top lanes to be happy influencing bot lane. You know, the Tahm Kench is going to give that extra escape as if Zion needed another one. And for sure, hopefully dominating a team fight, providing, you know, that high front line that Kennen can do just by running in, pushing R, buying your team value.
We're seeing an interesting pathing from the Jarvan. Jarvan is already in this bot side, so he's skipped his wolves and his chickens, and he's gone straight blue Gromp into red buff, so potentially looking for a very early bot lane gank here. We'll see where he decides to go. Now, they have warded the chickens the red side, so it is known by Vendetta that Jarvan hasn't done them.
And scoop those away.
Yeah.
Tough. The bot side, Scooby Dooby Doo will be needing a trade to get a little bit chunked out by Yusa in that trade. Who's already gone back and got themselves a curl.
Yeah, we're seeing a collapse though on the Viego. Rakan did think about moving in. Jarvan's just seen there that he no longer has his chickens, so he has given up on the potential play bot side, so he has now started to rotate up to the top side. He will be doing his wolves now, so maybe not the best pathing there from Jarvan. Going to be behind a little bit on tempo.
I don't know, he's kind of kept up the tempo. He gets an earlier route into top now. This might be a surprise. Tahm Kench under the tower, so it won't provide immediate fruit. It means there won't be any response to the Scuttle Crab. Goes even after all that.
Yep.
Vendettas jungle will still... It's still up, but he's still got to commit the time to take it. That's Jarvan out on the map now.
Yeah. He will be seen on that ward that was placed, I think, by the Jarvan, but he's just going to put a deeper ward into the enemy's jungle. Looks like he is looking for a play, but he is standing on that ward. So NXT have full knowledge of what's going on here, and Vendetta's just kind of wasting a lot of the time now. And Jarvan is able to take Viego's chickens. So we are seeing a trade.
Full circle.
It has.
Josh, to you, which one of those looks most like Nuki's McDonald's?
Nuki's McDonald's.
I don't know. I'm trying to tee you up there. Yeah, intelligent vision from Zume and Pickering. Just slows Vendetta down. Not a lot to be done right now.
Yep, not much going on in this early game. We're just seeing a trading camps, trading pressure for both teams. Both bot lanes have been able to get it, but we're going to get a root from the Nautilus. A good hook lands, but this trade isn't favouring Lions Creed Lionesses at the moment.
Oh, a little bit of playback there from NXT. They did get the ghost out of James, being able to play that forwards, but 2 summoner spells for 1, not a bad trade at all.
No, exactly, and obviously NXT trying to push the problem quickly, showing proactive, but Charlotte is caught here.
Without the flash freshly burnt. Yeah, Lions Creed support to be kept alive on his liver. And to prevent an escape, Pickering will just take that one. It's a bit of a wrestle of what we expect in the bot lane, and Forshaw now getting all in by Gertrude.
We have been told about Gertrude the pony and his Tom Kench gonna miss the Q though. That tongue is not long enough, but the flash has been blown by the cannon, so this can be a lane that Viego can come and punish, but the flash has been brought in by Viego. This Kassadin has to flash out. So that is flash for flash in that trade there. No TP back for the Kassadin, so he might stick around here. Dragon is being taken by NXT.
Oh, slim miss on the steal there from Vendetta. Just a little too late. Charlotte coming in now. La 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 from mid lane. Will get James's flash. That's area a little more vulnerable. That's bot and mid without flash for 5 minutes now. Vendetta will have to try and get their ultimate. Try and make the difference in this bottom side. Invade continues from Lions Creed Lionesses here.
Yeah, a lot of this pressure is definitely being put on by Lions Creed Lionesses because of the mid lane matchup. Lissandra is able constantly to get this push in against the Kassadin in these kind of early levels without any items on the Kassadin, which has allowed Vendetta to be able to go for these invades and everything. But obviously in that play, Lions Creed come into it, they blow the flash on the Kassadin, they blow the flash on the Zeri as well. They do lose the Drake, but it seems like they'd be relatively happy about this kind of trade so far.
They're definitely doing alright. Rakan has moved up. This is numbers advantage NXT for a small amount of time onto the Rift Herald. They should be able to get their vision in. They'll clear out. Linus is left behind. Any particular way you'd want this objective approach, Josh? Anything you'd be in comms right now in this room?
I mean, ultimately, red side Lions Creed, they need to be going through mid jungle. This is like a really important part of their kind of like composition theme, right? It's getting this northwest move as well, kind of just having this big ultimates kind of just going forward, right? I think NXT, they should be just struggling to play for any objectives at this point in the game. There's no real reason they should be able to just outright win a fight, right? They have basically 3 scaling lanes in a Jarvan, right? So unless, you know, Lions Creed kind of like massively out misposition or something like that, or someone gets punked out a lot in a lane, I really just do expect Lions Creed to come out ahead of the clears in this kind of like Herald fight if they're going to take it.
So pings coming down now from NXT onto the objective. There's just a bit of a stalemate. Charlotte's headed back down to bot lane. Seems like NXT will just get away with a bit of robbery. Vendetta walking into the river. Should spot this sooner or later.
Well, we're seeing an ult from Cannon in the top lane, so there is fighting going on up in the top lane. We're seeing a dunk from Forshaw, and that is Gertrude picking up his first kill. But the fight is carrying on by the Rift Herald. Gertrude is not going to be able to stay because he is so low, and Vendetta there just kind of caught out in no man's land by the duo of Rakan Jarvan, maybe not knowing that Rakan has stayed so far. But we're also seeing a fight at bot lane.
Alright, James just trying to get away from the 2 Lionesses going down. She's going to pull that feather back. Not even necessary. Charlotte will eventually fall. And the 2 Lionesses get the dive off. Herald still going over to NXT by the look of it. An even trade with the cross-map play.
Yeah, this Xayah is gonna be massive for Lions Creed. Look at the CS advantage that they've been able to recruit, just because Rakan spent so much time up in the top side looking for a potential pick on the Tom Kench to start with, and then we saw him sticking around, and then he was able to assist Jarvan with the kill on Viego. But it's kind of just left this Zeri in a kind of sticky situation where they don't know if they can step up to the wave because they have no vision on obviously Nautilus, and this Xayah has been able to pick up so many plates, but might have overextended here. Flash out.
With a flash just for the one wave. She'll get it right out of there. We go forwards. Let's take stock, gentlemen. We are at 10 minutes into the game. Second dragon coming up on the board. I think it's pretty fair to say we want to see more from Lions Creed Lionesses, especially around that mid lane we'd highlighted. It's a scrappy 2v2, quite a powerful one, even if it's maybe not the most popular on this patch. How are we going to see those next few minutes? How are they going to get into this dragon with Pickering's Jarvan having a good time so far?
I mean, ultimately, it's kind of what I said last time. The Herald fight, it was lost because Vendetta gets caught out by themselves, right? Lions Creed do a really good job, though, of cross-mapping onto bot lane, and you can see even with the kill lead and taking the Herald, gold is exactly even because of that bot lane play.
Yeah.
No kills going to happen there.
There's a little bit of tension and not a lot else.
Yeah.
They wanted to stop you talking.
You can just imagine, you know, if there wasn't that catch onto the Viego randomly, Lions Creed would be in some form of a lead right now. So they're not playing bad macro necessarily. You can just see they're sometimes getting caught out. That's what happened on the first blood as well, as this random death that shouldn't have ever happened. And they need to be really careful of that, because NXT, again, they have a massively scaling composition. They cannot just be given free kills onto this casting or onto this area, because the game will go complete chaos if they do that.
Alright, Lions Creed moving back into mid. This will push that wave out. Going to go to the tower as we get action in the bot lane. Yusa picks out. No flash to get out of the Cataclysm.
We're seeing loads of TPs being committed. This is going to be a bot lane fiesta. Bit of undecisiveness on who to go on, but Scooby-Doo will be able to just get out nice and easily. So that is a trade for trade. ADC dead, ADC dead. We will see there. So a lot committed to this play from kind of both teams. Casting just kind of started to roam down there, so for a time it was a 4 versus 3, but obviously the main thing, the Zaya's flash had been kind of brought out earlier after being caught out, so not able to flash out of the Jarvan ult there. No pullback on the feathers either, so that's a pretty nice and easy kill for NXT, but the kind of response there from Lions Creed, not too bad from them. Obviously able to finally kind of rotate this to the Lissandra so it can affect one of these side lanes and kind of pair up with the Viego or the rest of the roster, which we kind of want to see more of. So is able to pick up his their first kill of the game as well. So yeah, pretty even so far in that play.
All right.
I mean,
not a bad way to be right now.
Lions Creed ended up getting the Drake. You have to also look at top lane wave as well. That was in a really, really bad spot for Lions Creed when this fight happened, and they're being forced into that play with this top lane wave, basically slow pushing into Cassin, who now gets to pick up another massive amount of minions. Really not a good state to be in. So yes, they get the Drake. Yes, they kind of get a kill back. Ultimately, it's not kind of winning in the scaling war. They can't be going even 1-for-1. They need to be getting 2-3 man advantages. This team fight is really important. They're getting that, and they're just not finding that.
And Pickering, that Herald is expiring soon, will come out, will reveal the jungler, does manage to get onto Gertrude. The two opponents will have that grey health back at full strength. Is it, I'm pretty sure it's enemies, or is it allies you need nearby? Anyway, Herald's Crash coming in will just about pick up this gold, as I have to recount my Tom Kench lore. That's chewing a little bit. Here you go. Oh, Scooby-Doo in the bot side. Oh no, where are you? Yusa will take a tap off the pleasure. Oh, they're going back for James. The redive coming through. Summon a spell heal, and the feathers fly will get Yusa up and away from that tower. That'll be first tower over the Lioness's bot lane.
And it's really interesting to see the lane assignments coming out from NXT. You know, usually this Herald should be placed in this mid lane tower. It's hard for them to necessarily just take the mid lane tower without using double Herald on it. They could have definitely put the cast in kind of on the bot lane and kind of put Kennen towards top lane and kind of move this area into mid lane to try and really push the game forward via mid lane. But yeah, again, Lions Creed really good cross mapping. They're constantly getting this cross map onto the Zeri, denying a load of minions, getting the first tower blood as well. So ultimately, massive play for them. They should be really happy with that so far.
I can't argue with it at all. Take the mic, guys. I'm aware that I wrote out a going live tweet, and it's still sitting on my second monitor, unfinished. So I'm going to quickly go and do some promotion.
Oh, amazing! So whilst Temporal does what he's
there's
paid
no
to
smoke.
do,
There's no smoke and mirrors going on here, folks. You get it how it is.
Yeah, so as we're starting to get into now the kind of 15th minute mark, we're starting to see the first kind of items come through for both of these sides. Obviously, we're getting into these stages now where we're gonna not quite get into the scaling, but Lions Creed are still going to be relatively strong in these kind of fights. So we'll have to see how they start playing out. We do have Drake in a minute 50 coming up. So we'll just have to see. The bot lane of Lions Creed has been rotated into the top lane. So we were talking about lane assignments. How do you feel looking at this current map state, Pravius?
I mean, again, it's going to be, you want to get these big ultimates kind of involved, right? You want to have this Lissandra. I mean, realistically, Zaya's very good at catching mid waves kind of for free, right? And it really enables the Nautilus to just move around the map. So I would probably put the Zaya into the mid lane here, Lissandra on kind of the top waves. Try and...
Ooh. Engage comes through. That is Vendetta once again picked out. A bit of a retelling of a previous engage. And once again, this Herald, the Lionesses must fight without their jungler.
Yeah, I think that play massively comes down to the vision of NXT, but we'll talk about that in a minute as we're seeing a collapse onto the bot lane of Lions Creed. A lot of low health bars, but the Zaya will fall to the Zeri. The Lissandra is here to fight, will allow Gertrude to pick up the first kill. TP in from Kennen. Nautilus in the top side fighting with the Kassadin. That's a kill for the Kassadin now, and Gertrude is left kind of wondering where did it all go wrong. The ult is committed by the Kennen. Gertrude is slowly going down, but able to trade quite heavily onto Forshaw, but that Kassadin is starting now to do damage.
It's coming online, that ticking clock. You get one sort of ding at level 11, and after that all the way downhill to level 16. I'm sorry, NXT Esports. I've been through the top 5 results for NXT on Twitter. The first one was a wrestling account, the 4 of them all defunct esports accounts. Some of which haven't tweeted since 2015.
It's go NXT GG.
Go NXT GG. That is definitely a social handle, and that is definitely Vendetta trying to steal this objective where they won't quite make it. Trying to make up for lost time.
Yep, this should give Lions Creed priority on the Dragon. As you can see, they're pushing down the mid lane because obviously now NXT need to back so that they can get back onto the map. So they do have a timer now to be able to pick up the second Dragon for themselves. But yeah, as I was going to say, the vision there for NXT, able to spot out the Viego. They had quite a lot of their vision. It's still sort of there. You can see it in the top side for NXT. So they knew full and well, truly, where the jungler was able to get a really nice catch on them again. And we were talking about NXT shouldn't be allowed onto these objectives, but once again, Lions Creed being caught out just before the Rift Herald spawns.
It's the worst time possibly, just before the objective as a jungler to not be present. Real tough situation. I'm gonna be honest. We sort of thought, you know, the red comp is a bit better, but the blue one can just go 40 minutes. I really didn't think we'd be going this smoothly into that late game win condition. I think we can throw some praise Pickering's way on this Jarvan. Has had a reasonably good early game scoreline, 4-0-4. This is a bit of results based analysis just to give myself a headache, and Pravius at the same time to take his mind off his technical troubles.
I mean, ultimately, I think the main downfall of this game has been Lions Creed failing to connect the solo lanes together, right? And like what I said before, they need to be having the Zaya in the mid lane, they need to be having Lissandra on the side lane, and moving the Lissandra into the plays. What they're trying to do right now is trying to moving the bot lane from a side into a mid, and the Viego's kind of just running about everywhere. And they just need to group up a lot more. And like I said, just use the ultimates they have. These are guaranteed point-and-click CC options they have, and they're just not using them, right? And that's why we have so much weird fighting going on that's going in favor of the blue side.
It's like they've got away with it so many times. They're just like the goal comes out even if Lions Creed get what they wanted. It's really tough to play against. It's got to be like a weird mental battle. Like, you know, if you're in game, you don't have this idea of where plates went where unless like you're holding all this information. It's quite hard to tell in this situation. I think in game who's ahead right now, and that can feed into the doubt maybe for the Lionesses of not just pushing into this mid game where their composition really should be shining. An update on the casting clock. Leon, you're right. 12 out of 16, 13 now out of 16. We're getting on towards the final hour.
Yeah, as we're seeing the flash up of the gold, so we can see where the gold has been kind of sat for both teams. Obviously, as we highlighted, this Zaya had a really nice early game, but Charlotte is going to be caught here in no man's land. That's the Rakan, that's the Jarvan. The Jarvan has decided that clearing a ward is more important. The Zaya is able to scare off the trio. So no flashes, no ults, nothing, just kind of a cold stare down. But we're seeing a collapse from Viego and Lissandra, and this was the duo that we said had to be together. They needed to play around each other. This Kassadin, it might just be too scary at this stage. Maybe this is just too late for Lionscreed to look for a play like that.
Hasn't got a blue buff on, but with that many blinks, just so difficult. Charlotte will try and lollipop away out with the flash. Will make it. The return back onto Yusa. Stuck once again in the Cataclysm with a flash away. For sure, breaking up the front line. That is Lionscreed scattered to the wind, unfortunately, with Yusa not being able to fire away. Will fall down. Great health be damned. James holding on at the edge of his health bar. As NXT taking up a quick team fight win.
Yeah, I mean, really weird stuff out from there. I mean, Charlotte kind of hooking onto the Jarvan there, kind of gets just bursted out and is completely out of the fight. We saw the Viego and the Lissandra move up, and maybe if the early game hadn't quite gone the way it had, maybe it could have been turned differently. But this Kassadin, the Jarvan as well, have got their items now. Now they have Baron, and let's see how this kind of roster uses their Baron, because a lot of the teams that we were talking about yesterday, the teams that we were watching play yesterday, they kind of got to this stage where they had some really nice stuff, they were playing really well, but once they got into this kind of later stage of the game, they had got Baron, they were kind of a bit hesitant or not confident with how they wanted to use it. They didn't use it as effectively, so it'll be very interesting to see kind of how this NXT roster, how they decide to kind of use it across the map. We do have Dragon spawning up in 30 seconds as well, so they were able to get Baron, base, get back onto the map, get some vision down as well. This should just be a nice Dragon over to NXT now.
It's a tough one as well with champions like Kassadin, and with the objective spawning up, there's alternative ways you can use that Baron. You can try and sort of get a slow push coming towards you with a certain lane and just buy time for Kassadin to get those final levels as he flashes forwards into a 1 versus 4. This stopwatch should allow Zume to get away. Holding on just to the edge of the Heartbreaker will clip. That'll be enough as Vendetta finally takes down this Kassadin and claims that bounty. Gertrude on the cross map though, and NXT using this Baron to break open the base.
Yeah, this does look quite rough for Lionscreed. Obviously, it was a nice idea. They had to commit on a side lane somewhere. With Dragon being up, maybe their idea was, right, we're going to give Dragon over, but we're going to look for a shutdown on the Kassadin. In that kind of play, Lissandra probably went in a bit too early, as you can see, very chunked out by the time that the team was able to collapse on the play. But sadly for Lionscreed as well, Gertrude was just kind of caught, maybe napping, maybe a bit unaware that NXT could be there and will die in mid lane, and that's a mid lane tower again going down, and the Drake now for NXT.
Snowball has well and truly started. We are at 1 minute to midnight, gentlemen. These Lionesses are to come back. It's sort of feeling like a final against Spain right now. You know, it's the mid game didn't go to plan. They had 90% possession when we really thought we were going to get away with it, and the end game, it's just a struggle.
Yeah, it's really nice to see this from NXT. Obviously, we're at a stage now where they've got a 7k gold advantage, or maybe about 6.5 gold advantage in their favor. So obviously, like you said, using the Baron to its fullest effect. And this should just be the Tom Kench going down in the side lane.
It's a lot committed. That was the Slicing Maelstrom as well. You know, that's something to be said. Not a complete freebie there.
We're seeing Lionscreed do want to fight this, but it is just the Nautilus and the Zaya to start with. We're going to see the pull back on the Feathers, the Jarvan with the stopwatch, but the Rakan is here. Does the Jarvan go down? The Jarvan is still alive, and Kassadin is cleaning up the back line.
He's not level 16 yet, but he's found his way in. Delay all you can, Lissandra. That triple kill will secure the Kassadin's 3rd rank of Riftwalker.
We're seeing a TP as well from the cannon. For sure has said, I have had enough of versing off against this frog. I'm now looking to end. The only one now standing in between NXT and being 2-2 is this frog, but they will not be able to stand for much longer as the Nexus falls. NXT move on, sadly for Lions Creed. That is it.
Is that it? We're going to have to get a quick format check because we're not completely sure, to be brutally honest. 3 wins is enough. So I think there should be one more game for Lions Creed, at least. Maybe two more? I think you can go 3-2. I don't know. Swiss is weird when you start cutting the edges off. It really is.
Yeah, I think 3-2 was you are in. But I think it says
I think 3-3 is.
It says due to odd number of team, the 2 low seed in the 2-3 group will play a final decider match. Teams making it to this point will have 3 matches tomorrow instead of 2. So
it was meant to be 9.
Yeah.
All right, it is what it is. We'll figure it out as we go. Commiserations, Lioness is not quite on your day today, and NXT Esports have won. They've managed to do it. They will be qualified for that double elimination bracket. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break as we get some more stuff ready behind the scenes. We'll be back with another game. As soon as this round is over, we will go over the bracket once again, have a look at what we've got, and choose our game. We'll see you back in just a few minutes. Right, we're back. It's speedy. It's live. We were waiting on that countdown seconds ago. Paragon registered their win over the retirement home, meaning Paragon are also through to the second stage. We're just getting confirmation on how the brackets are being formed for this last final round of Not Quite Swiss, the tournament structure that is really hard to understand, and we will explain to you as soon as it becomes reality. We're back with Kaya. We're both taking a quick second. There is a smell of chicken burgers in my flat, Kaya, and I can't take it anymore. I'm so hungry. It's so nice. It's so good.
I had some pasta before I came on. I learned from
look
yesterday.
Look at this manager. Nutrition, long starches for long stretches. This is a guy you could use with on your team. Paying the big bucks.
Well, I can't. I'm still contracted, so legally not.
Legally not poaching. Not poaching. Not LFT.
I'm not Wi-Fi'd up in an orc sense. Well, I am Wi-Fi'd up in an orc sense currently, but we might separate, we might not. Who knows at this stage?
I think if you're gonna buy out Kaya's contract, it's gonna be $1 million to win your NLC.
My multi-million dollar buyout clause that Jack Ace has put on. So.
This is a good time to remind everyone we're not actually affiliated with anything. We're not sponsored by anything. This is all cheap and cheerful and happy.
Exactly.
However, we are gonna mention once again that the Insomnia Festival is coming up this next weekend. I think I'm going. I think I've committed. I haven't bought the ticket yet because I'm gonna look at getting one for me and my partner, maybe for a bit cheaper. But the Friday night Riot Games will be in attendance at the Insomnia Gaming Festival, the esports area. There is some sort of community evening, and they said ARAMs and fun and prizes. So you know what? On a cold Friday night in Birmingham, I will be there for ARAM and pizza and prizes.
I think it's the first time Riot's cared about a UK tournament in about 6 years, to be honest. So,
I was this close to going to League Fest, like this close, and I'm still gutted to this day that I miss like all these American players coming over. Let's just have a great time. Fingers crossed we get one of them soon, eh? Like imagine if Insomnia was the 4th place playoff for Worlds. Oh boy!
Good God.
Boy!
I mean, team. Could you just imagine it? You just have like a Fnatic XL.
The LAN finals finishes like, and now for the 2 4th place seeds in the Battle of the Atlantic.
Yeah, it's just like the players come over after a nice cushiony studio in Berlin, and they come and they're in Birmingham.
But at least they wouldn't have to go far from the airport. Big up Birmingham from Limsey and chat. Very rarely am I positive about my hometown, but let's go. Home of the Insomnia Gaming Festival. It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna probably come down. It's gonna be a good time. Hopefully see some of you there. And we've got an updated graphic from production. We're gonna look once again at the current status. I think this is the best way to display this. Zoe, an absolute graphical god. To display what's going on in this tournament right now. We have 7 teams qualified to the second stage, and a lot of them still in limbo.
Yeah, so obviously from yesterday we had our first 3. Now we've got an addition of 4. Are there any teams out of those that are now qualified that really surprise either of you?
How on earth did Verzik qualify?
Well,
simply
Jolly
just the coach. Like that's just all you need to know.
Just the coach. Is it a coach thing?
Yeah.
Is it someone we know?
Who's the man behind the curtain, Previous? Who is this mysterious?
Is it Previous while he's live on Twitch chat?
He's just messaging lock Tristano.
You didn't put up French money, you don't get my dulcet tones. You just get the text answers to your question.
It's like they have a crystal ball and they're like, oh, wise Previous, what do we pick into Zyra Khan? Sometimes he answers, sometimes he doesn't. That's why they're not fully undefeated.
Yeah.
We're looking down the middle section of this table now. Who do we think's going to squeak out? I'm looking at Broad and Friends in the top row. UK scene massive.
Yeah, Broad. I think it completely comes down to the matchups, really. If we see like some really weird matchups, Retirement Home, I'd love to see them guys make it through. Not too sure on the other kind of rosters, really. So maybe we'll see some exciting matchups and some surprise qualified.
All right, we're just confirming. We're just confirming what's going on. I've realized I can't read. Something was implied in a message, and I just English language is hard, man. I'm a scientist. I don't read. I create. I innovate. And I try to type on a keyboard rather than use a pen, just so that you all can read what is actually going on.
It's going to be a travesty if Broad and Friends doesn't get through. That's going to be
it hurts.
It would be the worst thing to happen to the UK scene.
We got a message from Verzik. Verzik's representative in chat. I need to upgrade the top lane at S+ tiers right now. Congratulations, Verzik's top laner, on your backpack being strong enough to apparently carry yourselves to a surprise early qualification.
Going back to what you said, Kaya, I would argue not necessarily the worst thing to ever happen to the UK scene.
Where are you sitting on the worst thing?
It's top 3 for sure.
Oh, okay. Can we get a full top 3 breakdown, or
Previous is top 3 right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Probably Diabolus Incident. I think it's probably up there.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that. I was thinking of my own. I was just like, that happened.
Yeah. And the tower format.
Oh, the tower format. I used to sit there in my uni accommodation watching it, and like while everyone on screen was very happy, big up Orcs, Hiprain, and Viperoon, I just Fnatic just played one game a week. They just showed up, and someone would play 7 games just to get slapped by Fnatic. It was just like, this again. When they got knocked off, it was very hype.
Oh,
that was like 3 times ever.
We have our round 5 matches are now up and available. We have a Broad and Friends matchup versus Diamond 4 Gamers.
No way! The young challengers who I discounted a long time ago.
Yes.
Up against the Brody themselves.
Okay, so Lions Creed Lionesses do have a second chance here. They are against Fury 5. So they're not out. So they are still going.
That's interesting. I'm looking at this. I need a vote on the desk, and I guess I'll be the tiebreaker. Paradox versus Ex Machina, or Broad and Friends versus Diamond 4? Because I presume the way it was worded, whoever loses here is still going to get like one more chance. So these games are like exiting victors, and it's just the guys who don't make the last game that will be knocked out. I think that's what I'm reading into this. So do we want to see some new teams, or do we want to run the Broad back?
I'm just going to have a look at the Paradox and...
Paradox are a bit exciting, and Ex Machina I haven't got a roster for. But they're... They are the uni mainstays, so I'm going to recognize names. They just weren't on a sheet that was passed to me. Just having a quick look now. What do we think, chat? Strong feelings? Go NXT GG. Where's your free win? You guys did really well.
Yeah, NXT will now face retirement homes.
Okay. So we picked a 1-win bracket. I know how Swiss works.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oof.
Oh.
Do
we watch...
I should end last game's prediction. What are you guys thinking then?
I'm not too fussed either way. Previous, any swaying of your mind?
Up the Brody.
He's nothing if he's not reliable.
He says what's on his mind, and he says it with his chest.
His mind is on what he says. Magical. I'm tempted by the Broad, you know.
Apparently,
the thing I'm worried about though is if Broad, let's say, a shock loss here.
Oh, there has been a mistake.
Gotta have them in the hang on, is there a thing? Is there a repair?
They're redoing the round 5 matches.
That's all right. This thing, you know, it's unavoidable. Challenger mode has been up and down, which means the tournament isn't submitting itself. Like some of the automated systems are not working properly, and then this happens. So we're gonna wait for the repair. We're not gonna dive too fast into anything. Like I want to cover Broad, but then if they lose, we gotta have their elimination game.
Yeah, that would be back-to-back Broad. So
it's back-to-back Broad as the most beautiful woman in the world. Passes me the tastiest meal in the world. I love you so much. Thank you. All right, this is now an eating stream.
That is delivery service.
I've got the best thing in the world.
Tastiest meal in the world. A McDonald's delivery.
Is that 2 nights in a row now, previous?
Yeah.
You getting your chicken in? Is that what it is?
It's bulking season.
I have been doing a lot of bulking this year, to be fair.
French food and French money, just an evil pairing.
Still waiting for this bracket to come up, so hopefully we'll get some information and then we can.
It's a mukbang stream now, Akirath. There's a bit of a repair. It's Monday night. I've had a long day at work. How are you doing? I put the Cheetos down quite quickly into that tier list, by the way. It wasn't like one every 10 minutes.
Oh, we have the bracket up now. So
okay.
we have Project Paradox versus Rise. We have Nuclear Vikings versus Ex Machina. We still have Retirement Home Returns versus NXT, and we still have Broad and Friends versus Diamond for Gamers. And then we have Revolt Chemtech versus Volpine and Lions Creed Lionesses versus Fury 5.
All right, I'm going to set it this way. Vikings and Machina or Broad and the Diamond 4 Gamers?
I mean, we know where Previous Heart lies. We know where his...
Right. Between us, guys, I'm not that swayed, but...
up
the Brody.
That sounds pretty swayed.
I think I've had a change of heart because I've been leaning on the Ex Machina. I think these Diamond 4 Gamers have earned it. I think they've earned the attention of the UK scene. From me discounting them because they submitted a team that had 3 unranked players on it, which is immediate submission.
Temporal, you lost 3 viewers. Go to a different game. It's, as soon as you said that you lost 3 viewers, good. We have to do a different game.
We have to do a different game. That's it. No. We're gonna give the people what they want.
Yeah,
let's give them the Broad. Let's get the Broad on.
What a match of the Titans. We have the Broad versus the unranked from Temporal.
They submitted unranked accounts with negative win rates in normal games. I didn't know what to expect. Games have been good, Akirath. Games have been good. Right. A little bit of a glitch there. I'm not sure what happened. Challenger mode did a thing. Interesting. Right. We'll be in touch with James, the Governor Gove. And we'll be getting into Broad versus the Diamond 4 Gamers real soon. I'm going to update a stream title.
Yeah. One of the Diamond 4 Gamers people just said, underdog ? I'm here to rewrite the narrative. I'm here to destroy friendship groups. I'm here to ruin someone's day. And my main target is Broaden 4 (friends).
How could they? They threaten the very sanctity of the UK scene. They become too powerful to keep alive in the UKEL.
And Broad snugly replied with eek.
Mind games have already started from the Diamond 4 Gamers.
Yeah.
Snugly and Koa quaking in their boots.
in their really old the really old cowboy boots that look
really
well worn. Their slippers and dressing gowns. Oh, Broad, if you are listening, show up to land. Arthur Dent style. Cup of cocoa in hand. That would be absolutely massive.
Yeah, they've come for a fun time, not a long time, because if it goes past their bedtime, they just FF. They just
They
don't turn
can't do
up.
the last round. It's too late on a work night. They've got to go get the kids.
Oh no, the kids need putting asleep. I can't play this game. That's a new excuse. That'd be a good one.
I'd be, actually responsible, which is like crazy. We have a question from Pelican in chat. And so, what's the best burger topping? I'm gonna let Mr. France and Mr. Kai argue about this.
Well, we have to let Mr. France give his main opinion on this. He is a culinary mastermind of sorts.
Give me a second.
Escargot.
It says
He's
barbecue and all the
googled it.
He's googled.
yeah, bacon filling and all the toppings.
All of them. What's the best topping?
No, just not one topping. All of them.
I would argue caramelized onions pretty good.
As a shout.
Like, I don't know, everything that's caramelized. I don't know, because it's like just sugar. I don't know. But
it's like maple cured bacon as well.
oh,
That's
it's
nice.
so good. Whenever I go to my girlfriend's, we order like this Chinese thing, and they have like this like sweet and sour kind of like chicken thing they do, and they do like caramelized chicken. It is oh my god, it's the best thing I've ever tasted in my entire life. It's so good. Caramelized red onions. It's true. That's my goat right there.
Just anything as long as it's caramelized.
Caramelized is good. Like, it's just how it is. Like, you could have like crickets or something, and it's completely fine. You know.
All right, a little bit of technical issues. The challenger mode lobby still don't allow spectators.
No way.
Oh wow.
Shocker.
And Pelican says caramelized red onions are pretty good tonight. I've got spicy sriracha mayo because it's what I've got in the fridge. It's pretty good.
Spice for that Nando's sauce stuff that people always have in their houses, so just slap it on.
It's strong. It's strong.
Nando's peri peri everything. Or it's piri piri, isn't it? Not peri peri.
We're just making sure we're not going to miss this absolute unit as I pass the tournament code to our producer.
Yeah, there's more can't lol in the chat. We get an interview with this guy. It's quite
Yo,
with who? Morkan?
If Saltaire
actually made it,
if Saltaire actually made it to this tournament, we'd be getting our boy on straight away. Morkan, do you have any hot takes? Morkan's a random. Get out of here.
Brew. Oh wait.
Oh wait, hold up.
Skull.
Hey, Zoe, what's happening? Is that code gone in? Technical difficulties. It's alright. They friggin' suck.
Are there any Scottish players in the tournament still, or is it?
Say that again.
Are there any like Scottish players in the tournament still, or?
I think there's Craney. Is Craney Scottish? I'm having a bit of a stroke and food coma here. I need to carry on eating. It's the answer.
And Pelican, but
it's true. The Welsh are still here.
Yeah.
That's big deal. Very big deal.
Yeah, Craig Scottish is in the retirement home team. Yeah.
Yeah. New tier list for upper and lower brackets. I'm going to be honest. My spreadsheet, barely held together by like feelings and OPGGs, has not aged well. Except up the body. No, I think I got the top 4 right. Maybe if we do content. I'm like so exhausted after doing this 4 days in a row, guys. don't know if you've noticed, but the done hair from yesterday, the general happy demeanor, even putting these lights on, it's just not happening tonight. It's maybe if I want to blind myself.
It's so amazing. I tuned in to start your tier list, and you outlined I will not spend 2 hours or more doing this
No,
tier
I spent
list.
3.5.
And then I kind of like tuned out and tuned back later, and you were still going, and I was like, this man actually thought he could do it in 2 hours. Ugh.
I thought it was going to be like plowing through like loads of unranked accounts. I was just going to slam in the bottom, and actually did research on like 72 out of 80 players. It was fucking incredible. That's meant to take a while, by the way.
I guess when you're doing a tier list of like that many teams, and then half the teams that you do the tier list on don't even ready up on challengers, so
three of them just aren't even in the tournament.
It's well worth the amount of research you put in.
Personally, I think it's a skill issue, but that's just me.
True.
Just
Very
get
true.
better at readying up in challenger mode. Just get better.
Yeah. Better at bodying up.
All right, while we try and get into the broad game, I think we are almost there. There is a custom game lobby being spawned in. These teams going the extra mile for us. Thank you so much, guys.
Do you think it's possible we can get one of the teams to pause during the game so I can go brush my teeth?
Is it that bad? If you go now, you'll make it.
No, I've had some like strawberries and stuff like that, and it's all like sugar. And now my teeth feel horrible. It just feels really like sandpaper. It's really not nice.
Oh, that like coating on the teeth.
Yeah,
and all
like
that,
when you drink like a Monster for the first time in about 5 years, and you just hate it, you know?
So what you're saying is it's a skill issue?
No, this is foundations diff. You know, like, this is
Foundations diff. All right, D4 gamers really want a pre-game interview. I'll challenge you to this, guys. We'll get an interview after the game if you win. You got to take down Broad.
Maybe we get an interview with them as Previous brushes his teeth. like a mid game, mid pause interview. We'll just be like, how's the game going so far? And they're just like, oh, it's a disaster. Jungle ran into the enemy jungle and died level 2. So we're looking for a tactical mid game substitution, maybe. This is amazing. Are they going to do like a shirt trade afterwards as well?
El Clasico.
They want to do it on stream. Ah, so production is telling us that the Broad is it both teams agreeing to the coin toss, or is it just?
This is a bit too fair unfair.
Yeah, we're having debates whether a coin toss will decide anything at this stage. It could be anything at this rate.
Oh yeah, can you do like a IRL coin toss, not just like one online, and then it doesn't matter if it's rigged, just do it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I can do a coin toss.
But between us, Skyer, up the body.
Well, it lands where it lands. If there's a gust of wind that takes it in Brod's favour.
Destiny decides Brod.
We're flipping a coin now on stream.
Heads.
Who won?
Who's picked heads?
I'm just going back through the chat logs to see who actually picked heads.
No, it's so draft lol wins the coin toss. So that's what we were actually flipping a coin for. Nothing to do with the game or anything.
Output.
It was just what they were going to draft on. So
I'm going to offer this up as like a content. You know, like I always used to say, UKC needs more content, right? What I'm offering you, Kaya, right, is that I take control of your life, but your life is decided by a coin toss.
Okay.
Everything you do, whether you eat, whether you sleep, how you dress in the morning, everything coin toss, you know?
Okay.
Does Kaya get to shower this month? Coin toss head? No. unlucky, you know.
So in other words, I need to just vlog my day-to-day life and show off what is decided.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I lose my job, it's not my fault. It's the
destiny,
coin.
Yeah, everything's done to the coin.
And this is going to help the UK scene. How?
Mm.
Funny.
Sponsors, you don't need to worry about that. You know, sponsors and money and stuff. You know.
Okay. Are you going to handle that side of it? All I need to do is flip a coin.
Yeah, of course. I'll be flipping the coin. It's fine. You just need to live life. You know. Like.
Oh, you're gonna you're gonna flip the coin for me.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Are you gonna come up with the scenarios for me? So you'll like decide the two options I have.
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
today Kai gets to go to work or he has to fight a crocodile. You know, like,
Yeah.
All right, Broad
Oh.
and 4 fanboys and the Diamond 5 gamers taking each other on. Slightly adjusted names for our draft preparation here.
Yeah, they've leveled up after their early success this tournament. They are no longer Diamond 4 gamers. They have now leveled up to level 5 of their form. But we'll see if this is their final form or whether Broad and his 4 fanboys are strong enough to defeat their current impressive streak they have going on. Some very interesting bands coming out. Rek'Sai among them, Zillion as well, being taken away from either side. Bands are completely done. So let's see what we have as a B1. The Jarvan, 2 series in a row. B1.
I'm really surprised
Locked
to be
in.
seeing Jarvan so much. I mean, I guess it's like a champion that's supposed to be good into the Maokai, right? So you can't really just go Maokai Jace every single game. But you know, you've got your champions like the Rel. You know, we've seen this as like a really good answer. We saw it last series. We saw the Viego coming through. Viego's kind of like one of those old school counters where Jarvan wins the early game, but Viego is just stronger when it gets to these kind of 2-item power spikes, right? Because he can use his E around the Jarvan Cataclysm and stuff like that, which can make a lot of danger within the game. Ezreal coming through. Yeah, I think Ezreal's good, especially with Kai'Sa ban. Then you end up with the much lower priority champions, or kind of like this Zeri Xayah kind of like combination that comes out as a response to it usually. But it's a good answer into the Jarvan at least.
Yep, a lot of tools to get out of the Jarvan ult for Ezreal to kind of play at the distance that he wants to. Be interesting to see what they go next. We've got a Nocturne in the jungle for Broad and fanboys.
Nocturne's kind of like a quite weird champion, where a lot of people associate it with the strong level 6 kind of go in, but what Nocturne's actually very good at is actually early game skirmishing. It's very good if you can find the enemy jungler. Jarvan uses a lot of his abilities, his E's and Q's to kind of like clear the camps. So if he finds Jarvan in one of those camps without his kind of like flag and drag combo, it's basically a free solo kill at that point. So I kind of like that answer into it. Xayah coming through, very typical champion. But what you end up seeing is that now you need something like a Nautilus to allow the Xayah to really step up in laning phase and kind of step up to these objectives. Because she's not going to be able to follow up with the Jarvan EQ, right? So we just...
Yeah, a bit different to the Nautilus.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Soraka can try bail you out, like with the ultimate, and then if you are paired next to the person Nocturne is coming towards, you can throw the silence at the feet, which buys you like, time if they didn't cast Q mid-flight. But it's so risky to try and take that out. It does mean he's probably not going to be diving into bot lane so confidently, but we got the Governor's Gwen. It's time.
Oh, wow.
Time for some solo carry on the top side.
Yep, I mean, in our first ever game that we were watching of the UK Open qualifiers, we saw his Rumble. Broad and friends have decided to go the Gwen route, and they've actually banned the Rumble out, so not wanting Diamond 4 gamers to be picking that one up. Obviously banned the Jax as well, so 2 counter matchups into the Gwen, so Governor's had some nice thinking about what he doesn't want to play against. So we'll see what they're going to pick up. Maybe they're going to pick up something in the bot lane to go against this Xayah Soraka.
Yeah, I mean, typically you want to go with something a little bit more higher range in the bot lane matchup here. Soraka typically doesn't like to go versus poke compositions, which is a bit weird. People say, oh, it's healing versus poke, it's kind of good, but Soraka typically needs to be hitting Qs to actually do the majority of the healing, otherwise she'll run out of health quite fast. So I do opt into the Nautilus. I think this is also fine as well, kind of going for this more kind of death ball composition. But again, you're kind of playing into the style of Xayah, right? This champion really wants these champions to be coming into her. But it is non-committal, right? If Nautilus doesn't have to just go in, he can just press ultimate and walk away a lot of the time. So,
Seeing a Zach Hover now for Diamond
Oh my.
Gamers. Where is that Zach going? Top?
Could be the top lane. Bit odd into Gwen, though. I'm pretty sure she destroys it.
Does Jarvan flex somewhere else than jungle in this comp?
Also not good into Gwen.
Yeah. Bit of an interesting decision for Diamond for Gamers.
Could be a world where you could see something like the Zac mid lane here, and G2 did play this a little bit in the past. So
Yeah.
So not entirely sure. Maybe they've got some weird sort of technology. They could also maybe even look for a Soraka top lane into the Gwen here as well, and do something like a Zac support. That is an option.
Whoa.
Okay. Pick on 5 here, Swain. Okay.
Swain.
It's another threat, and I suppose Broad's team comp does want to come forward. The Ezreal should be nice and separated and non-committal. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Tarek.
These comps are getting weirder and weirder now.
Yeah, it's getting a bit further out there, Broad. You guys okay?
Okay. That's a lot more kind of, I guess, safe, bog standard, going for the Ari, some nice partnerships, I guess, with the Nocturne as well. Charm, Nocturne can come in. It'll be interesting to see where Diamond for Gamers decide these champs are going to end up going. I'm guessing Swain's going to be in the mid lane, can also go, I guess, support.
I don't actually
as
really
well.
like the Swain pick. I think it's actually really good into what Broad has kind of drafted. It's hard for them to one-shot him. The Ari is actually a self-counter pick into the Swain, so I'll be interested as to why they kind of opted in for that much. But I guess the idea is that you can play against the Rangers, play versus the Jarvan EQ and kind of like dip in and out of fights. But I really do have a feeling that Broad's going to struggle to kill this Swain going into like the mid to late game, because again, he can consistently hit his ultimate on all members for the majority of it. And they don't really have a lot of DPS really. Like they have DPS on Gwen, but Gwen has to play versus side lane somewhere. And she also has to get into fight without dying, right? It's just to run over Soraka silences or Xayah feathers or something like that. So, you know, I think it's a bit of a mishmash of champions, to be honest. But I kind of like what Diamond 5 has kind of like drafted here, or Diamond 4, I guess, has drafted here. So we'll just have to kind of see.
A difficult question, especially with a fair few exotic picks coming in from the Diamond 4 gamers. I'm just getting this one locked in lobby, and we'll be right over into game.
Yep. So obviously the stakes for both teams. Both teams currently sat at, I believe they're sat at both 2-2. 2 wins, 2 losses for both of these teams. So the winner of this matchup will join the rest of the teams that are qualified. The loser isn't over for whoever the loser is. Our understanding is that there will be another round for those teams to claw their way back in to the qualified slot. So we'll have to see.
Indeed. I'm here to shame Pravius and let you all know he's gone to brush his teeth, and the Strawberries will not be joining us during this game.
No, just for the time being, whilst we're waiting to get into the actual game, Pravius has decided that his teeth have become priority.
So you at home, if your teeth aren't doing so great right now, this lobby's locking in. What are you doing here? Just go and sort it out, right?
Exactly. Dental hygiene is a very important.
Get hydrated. We're in for a slog. You know, it's gonna be a big game. We're not quite on last chance, but whoever wins here, Broad and 4 fanboys, could be going through to the UKEL qualifiers, and that's a big deal.
Yep, just to confirm everything around the 2 to 3 teams, it will be the top 4 seeds that are 2 to 3 automatically do qualify. But it is the bottom 2 teams that have to play an additional match tonight against each other.
So there will be a sudden death after this game.
There will be an absolute...
Might be one of these teams, but we're not actually sure.
It depends who the lower seeds are out of the ones that lose. From what I understand. And seeding for the 2 to 3 group will be confirmed after all the matches are finished. So we won't know exactly who the top 4 are, and we won't know who those 2 teams are until it is confirmed by the UKEL. But we know that we'll have one more match up this evening, and that one will be a do or die for both of the rosters. So it should be an absolute classic.
A banger. A game of all games. That's what we're looking for, as we're just holding on.
Clash of Titans.
Indeed, I can confirm that we'll be switching out for that sudden death. We'll be having Zika and Brackish Brit in. We'll be trying out some different casting stuff. Be fun. As we're just waiting. I'm watching this load screen. No, we have spectator delay because it's live server. We love live server so much. We were so ahead of schedule. We spent the last half an hour not in a game.
The annoying thing is we can see the spectator delay part, but the players aren't in order. So even though we can sort of like see,
we can't tell.
We can't actually tell where these champions are going. You look on the broadside. The broadside is lovely and organized. That's what we love to see. But Diamond for Gamers are really having a song for that side. So we're still unsure where these champions.
Hazard is definitely the jungler, so that Jarvan heading into the jungle.
Okay. So we're seeing a Zac top.
I think Paul George is the mid laner. So yeah, it's the standards, as most standard setup you could get out of this.
Yes, the most standard out of the not standard.
It's not completely crazy. It's definitely unhinged.
Yes, but to be fair, when we looked at this Diamond 4 roster, we kind of wanted this. We wanted the weird,
little bit.
We wanted the wacky. Now let's see how Brod and friends play into it, because it is a very unusual composition they have drafted for themselves. As we mentioned, the Swain is going to be a very big focal point. The Xayah and her spacing is going to be a very big thing for Diamond 4 Gamers to kind of have on lockdown, to be able to allow her to get her feathers down and deal the damage that she needs to be able to do against this roster. So yeah, lots of things into play. We'll have to see how it all plays out.
All right, if you are ready to gamble with the few channel points you all have, because let's be honest, who has ever watched me stream on this channel, your predictions open now. Up the Brody or Diamond 4 Gaming? It's your choice. As we get into game in just a few seconds. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
This is gonna be a classic.
It's King Kong versus Godzilla. That's what it is.
If you had to assign one to each team, which one is it?
Which one's King Kong and which one's Godzilla?
Yeah. Godzilla is way more powerful, let's face it.
Yeah. But I don't know, I feel like King Kong sounds good for Brod. I don't know. It's kind of
Does it suit their mentality?
Yeah.
They are together always with a family.
Yeah.
King Kong can be described as their spirit animal.
To be fair, King Kong put up a good fight, considering he's just a monkey. You know, like
he did have the big axe as well. So
spoilers, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh,
it's like Gwen Scissors in this game.
You just ruined the entirety of King Kong versus Godzilla for me. So thanks.
Oh, what? Because he had the axe. That's where you draw the. That's where you draw the line. No reason to watch it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you may as well just delete the movies. Like at this point, like.
I'm forever sorry, Previous. I ruined Godzilla versus King Kong for you.
It's a classic piece of art. What have you done?
Oh, don't worry about it, Kaya. It's fine. No, really, don't worry about it.
Looks like D5 game is playing with
12
people here.
Oh no!
We'll update our scoreboard in just a second.
Wait, no, it's not. It's striker support.
Yep, the players aren't in the right positions.
I'm mad.
Unhappy. Is that an instant cancel scrims?
Yeah,
Queue in the wrong order. You're not going to adjust that scoreboard. You just send them it.
No, it's my mid lane is very sick, hospitalized quick. You know that's
Your jungler has a flat tire, and the cat is in the oven.
Yeah.
Cat is in the oven. We did have a discussion yesterday, everyone. Best excuse for cancelling scrims. If you want to throw your late submissions in chat, we will rate them as they come in on the scale of 0 to Turkish business up at the top. Nice even line of scrimmage here from Brody. You're not sharing that 20 nugs share box. No craziness, no triple kills at level 1 like we used to. Bit of a pointed composition from D5 Gamers. I'm not really sure why that Jarvan was over there. That was a Season 3 lane swap ward dodge. Can't say I've seen that for over 10 years.
Yep, so obviously casting our minds back to when we last saw Brod, they did have a very nice early lead. We did see also the Governor getting a solo kill very early into the game as well. So maybe we might see some flashy, fancy feet from the Governor in this one as well. So they won't quite get the hand of gold over like they did versus Sign These Nuts, but they'll look to certainly win this early game.
Look at him tipping his hat. The Governor, ready to govern, ready to lay down the law.
Exactly.
In this top lane, very exciting. That CS difference, I'm not sure. CJ Flame missing 1 or 2. There's another one there that's difficult to come back from.
I mean, how do you lane up against the Governor? It's quite.
It's a titan, an absolute unit.
It's the type of matchup where you have to turn the nameplates off and kind of forget who you're laning against, just so that doesn't give the Governor the mental edge over you. So
present.
Oh, we're seeing a lot of this from Broad. They are really setting it down. They are tipping fully.
They know their ragtime. Their ragtime is here.
Some would say playing with their food.
Risky business, to be sure.
In the words of
I'm informed by local man Divinus that the Governor might be on a revenge pick after Cormac put him in the dirt last game on this one.
My God.
Stakes here for the Governor.
Yeah. In the immortal words of the Governor Law at the T-Stick 2022 Spain trip, Dos San Miguel, por favor.
Dos San Miguel, por favor. Words to live by. even if there's no one with you, get one for now and get one for later. Just a bit of tension. There's not a lot to be done in this early game. I don't think either of these teams are really exploding in the early levels.
Yeah, we're seeing some pings from Jarvan to go up to this top side, so we could see a potential play onto the Gwen.
He's waiting. Great thing about the Jarvan into the Gwen, you do end up inside the Shroud, so a little bit hard to dodge that one out. Governor has been bounced up and down. Ghost used, no flash. That one will be available a little bit sooner than otherwise Flash would provide.
The good thing about this gank, and yes, they've been the ghosts, but the reality is, can they re-gank this in the future? Not sure. It gives the confirmation over to Broad Jarvan's top side, so it gives a lot of breathing room to the mid lane, to the bot sides. Squid Salad gets a double scuttle grab here. He's pretty comfortable right now. Jarvan's still on the top side. If Nocturne goes back to his Krugs and just starts to farm again, he's going to have a sizable XP leads.
CJ Flame, not quite up to his 2013 standards. Hazard will pull the engage. Squid Salah looks like he's isolated, but that Zac is very, very weak right now. With the Fear coming through, the lethal tempo stacked. The Nocturne plows through the Jarvan in the 1v1.
And ultimately, the main takeaway from this is, yes, they don't get a kill, yes, nothing really happens, but again, this Nocturne goes to his nearest camp, he starts to get these second camps respawning, and he's going to get to this level 6 point a lot earlier than this Jarvan will. So there's going to be a massive swing of power, I think, kind of in the next couple of minutes, where they have these much bigger power spikes from Broadside.
I love how you brought up the level 6 in draft prep as well. For me, Paul George, my boy, you caught out a little bit. The flash for flash traded the Swain a little bit more vulnerable. It's going to be a massive 2v2 around that bird in the mid lane. And with the Nocturne, I think it's just so powerful. As soon as you really get the Iron Spike whip in, I think the ability to just dive on someone on 1v1, whether that be at their camp or with a cheeky ult, try and catch someone by surprise. Just the ability to run at someone with lethal damage. Really powerful.
Yeah, and you can see Hazard in this Jarvan probably setting up for Drake now for these next two camps, more than likely. It'd be a bit surprising to see him going towards top lane if he's taking these bot side camps and pathing towards bot lane.
It's a shame he is a level down. If he had the correct tempo in the top gank, the Gromp and Wolves aren't there right now. They would be cleared.
Yeah. And again, this is now going to have a level advantage on Squid Salah with this serrated Dirk as well, in a very, very strong position right now as a jungler.
I love he's going the full disrespect build. So exciting. Oh, first blood in the mid lane. Nemly and Nug Sharebox capitalizing on that lost flash.
Yep, I mean, great communication obviously there from the Broadside to be able to say the flash has been blown by Swain. Let's see if we can catch him, and obviously Snuggly's found a kind of window that he can roam up to mid there, and he's caught Paul George napping a bit and able to pick up the first blood in this matchup.
Can't check right now. Squid Sailor must be pretty close to that level 6. He's done at least a camp at level 5, maybe more. In my mind, a 7-minute mark. Most junglers without any extra experience. You're pretty close right now.
He will be. Looks like he is taking this Drake as well. So that'll be first Drake going over to Broad. So first kill and first Drake.
It's not a bad start.
We're about to do this Drake for free, honestly, with the Ari taking the reset. I think Squid Sailor could have already gone for the Drake straight away without getting vision control. I don't really think they needed to do that.
He's going to pay with his red buff. Oh, the Governor. Anemone wise to this invade.
The Governor is here to govern.
You get 2 sets of the snips down, Hazard away over the wall. And while that 1v1 power might be slightly lost, a defended invade. That is effectively Dragon for a Scuttle Crab. And now Hazard's jungle being taken away by Salah has got that extra invade. So, were they really invading Broad? Or were Broad invading them?
I mean, ultimately, taking the red buff, I think, is good if you can get red buff. I'm not sure whether actually using the Gwen ultimate is worth it, honestly, especially when coming up with this really big Herald timer here. So the question is now, is Broad too weak to fight this Herald without Gwen ultimate, or does it not matter at all? I'd argue maybe they can't fight it now, but it really depends on what the junglers want to play around, right? Because Squid Sailor could really set it for a bot lane dive as well, potentially, especially with the low mana Slayer. And mid lane's also really gankable, it seems.
Yeah, we
Tom came through a bit of a trade. 2v2 here. Paranoia is in range of everyone. Tom comes through. Paranoia to chain.
Nice.
Hazard will run into the shield. The flash forwards will get the counter kill, using everything to get Squid Sailor back down. It's tough with him just there in the wings. The counter gank successful in the end.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think this is really good for the side of D5, right? They wanted a bit more of the scaling coming through for their composition. They wanted to get a sway into certain items. It doesn't really lose any minions to the tower either. Maybe I'll lose a couple on this wave. And it's a very big ultimate gone from the Nocturne. He had a really good position on the map states. You know, was really ahead in CS and really ahead in XP as well. And this kind of swings it a little bit more back into Jarvan's favor.
Yeah. A little bit more agency on the map. Would be able to go and buy something nice to try. I think, did he just dodge that melee minion there? That was so close to being visible. Eventually back away.
Obviously, we did see as well Nocturne was able to take the red buff, but obviously because Jarvan got that kill, he gets the red buff back as well.
No XP and gold.
No, yeah, no XP, but
pretty banner.
Still a nice little circle around him. We're seeing the Nocturne now coming up to maybe get some vision. Going to take the Scuttle Crab in the top side as the Governor just ushers the Zac away. Don't think we'll see a contest, but Snuggly has rotated up to the top side.
Supports are up here. They are on vision right now near mid lane. D5 should be wise to this.
Yep. D5 does have some vision there in the Herald pit, but are both going down to the bot lane. So this could just be a free Herald.
It should be. Yeti in this bot lane should be able to get away from this. I think if the Jarvan does approach, he will be on vision in an unusual spot. So probably won't see that coming. There he is. Spotted going into the Tribush. Snuggly should have plenty of time to walk this back down to bottom lane.
Yep, and that is just a free Herald over to Broad. Nothing really lost for them. No pressure really on the Ezreal. He's able to just farm up nicely. Obviously, yeah, nothing really out there for D5 to get. All up Broad so far.
It's coming up Broad. I do wonder, this is something I used to think about with Nocturne a lot more. Whether clearing this quadrant of the jungle was correct, or whether you should slam the ultimate into a play. Many years ago, you'd just send it, and you'd pretend you were playing Skarner or Zinzao, and treat that jungle camp as part of your cooldown. These days, I think the tempo just a bit too much. You need to always be on top of your camps if you want to scale. Nocturne definitely good at that.
It'll be interesting.
I can be an old man, guys. It's okay. It's okay.
It'll be interesting to see here if Body goes for this kind of second Drake and tries to put the pressure on with Drake stacking, and it's probably the correct way to approach this game, honestly. They do have the Herald usage now as well, so using this Herald into kind of a Drake timer straight after that would probably make a lot of sense.
Yep.
D5 saw the exit from mid. So they know Salah and Nemli are here, but not exactly where. They won't spot the reapproach.
Oh,
Avoiding
this is a nice
the
move.
river.
Gonna miss the
Flash
charm.
Is that going to be enough? 2 ults for an ult and a flash. Technically worth it.
I think that's a massive blunder from Broad, though. I think they really should have used that on towards bot lane, tried to put this Herald down on bot lane, and tried to pressure the map forward, like I said, going into the Drake.
Alright, Snuggly's gone forwards, expecting a bit more aggression. The Governor in the backline, that deep flank, both mid laners teleporting in. CJ Flame, just a little late to the play, but Snuggly will fall. The Nautilus not able to go through the sustained fight. D5 gamers with the numbers advantage, but they've burnt absolutely everything here. Can Broad play this slowly? Can they try and find a way in TP from Paul George?
Doesn't look
great for a Broad approach right now.
No, it doesn't look like we're going to see any more fighting in this moment.
It's a bit of a tragedy. The AD carry backing as well. It's unfortunate, but going back to waves is the right choice. As much as I want more bloodshed. I can feel it. Like I know what the correct play is. I'm like, no Broad, crush them.
That's kind of what I said, right? They really should have used the ultimates to really push the Herald forward, push the game forward, play with our second Drake. We ended up taking a really weird fight. And this is kind of something we said about Broad in the first game when they played versus Sandy's Nuts as well. They kind of just overextend on plays a lot of the time, and this is where they're throwing a lot of their games. I feel like they still haven't really stepped up from that issue they were having in the first games, right? Where they kind of go for these additional plays and they keep being caught off tempo without ultimates and just taking these really weird fights that make no sense realistically.
Yep, we are seeing the Rift Herald now being donated over to the Ahri. So we are seeing that now being played. To see what happens after.
Should just get this play. Oh, tasty trade onto Paul George as he comes back out from base. Oh, don't tell me that play goes to no one. Oh, that's... take it away. Take it away.
Heartbreaking scenes as the plate just ends up not being donated to anyone. So Nemli will get some gold, but obviously could have got a little bit more out of that play. We're seeing now just a little bit of trading going on, bit of missed skill shots from the bot lane, but just some nice calm action before we get into the rest.
Tension just on the floor right now. No objectives, no immediate need to try and force the advantage. I do like Nemli going with the Everfrosted. It's a little bit of frontline modulation, should be able to mess with the Swain.
Get Nightmare in here.
Get Nightmare in, get us on some...
Where's the book?
Where's the book? That's it. Where's the Dark Sail?
Oh, looks like we've got... So Nautilus is roamed up to the top side of the map, so he's just going to leave his AD carry in the bot side again. Azure, very safe AD carry, can play quite safe. We're going to see a Hex Flash from the Nautilus onto Paul George. In comes the Everfrost. The CC is chained up, the charm hits, and that is a lovely little kill being donated again into this Ahri. This Ahri being holding quite a lot of Brody's gold currently. They are just under a 2k gold lead in these early stages. Most of that probably is sitting on the Ahri with 2 kills and all of those plates going over to them. So really nice rotation from Snuggly over there. Nice little timer to be able to make something happen.
Absolutely charitable from the Nautilus. You know, the Everfrost and just chaining up into the dredge line. Really nice. Really well played.
Obviously, like I said, D5, they do have this kind of scaling element going forward, but the Soraka pick can't really do anything to punish the Azure on the bottom lane, so whenever you do get this push on the Nautilus, kind of just gets a free time to kind of do anything he wants on the map without any consequences.
It's like every time they think about forcing it, there's just a ward in the right position or Snuggly's on his way back, and the timing, you're right, not coming together. D5 are going to stay in this. They probably do need a bit of violence. They need the fights where the Swain can be sort of approached and then go forwards. The Jarvan not being the glue we saw in the last game, despite being a threat unto himself. Yet he's running away. He's taking another Kraken Slayer auto attack to the face and unfortunately ran down in this bottom side.
Yeah, obviously Yeti there. He has no flash as well. That is soon to come back up. But obviously,
I'd like to congratulate all three of us on a vicious caster curse. You know, we just said that bot lane was going so well. Immediately dies.
Yes, we were just commending them about how they haven't been able to find anything on the Soraka. It's not quite worked out, and there we see the Soraka silence comes in. The Jarvan's there, and that is a first tower over to D5 as well. So considering Brod have now got both Rift Heralds as well, the first tower is still going over to D5 in this scenario.
Yeah,
definitely a rough shake.
Kind of sucks, but the good thing is they do get the second herald, right? And that means they can easily break up the tower. They can also look to play onto a side lane, really put a lot of pressure, threatening a tier 2 from it. So if Ezreal didn't die there,
I can't believe the governor didn't just full send it right there.
Yeah.
If, like I said, if Ezreal didn't die there, I think it was kind of a fine trade for Herald and bot lane tier 1 if they felt like they couldn't really, you know, press the game forward through bot side. Fine trade, but
Paranoia? That seems like an early one. Salah not in position for anything right now. Maybe Nautilus traversed a ward?
Oh, we're seeing a TP from Zac.
That's deep. That is so deep.
That is deep. Ezreal is here. Nautilus is here as well, but I don't think there's much that these two can really do in this scenario. Oh,
immediately caught by the two gelatinous fists of Zac.
Amazing.
Bot lane from Brodigo down like a sack of potatoes. That is so difficult. A TP just before the dragon.
This is going to
respond. It'd still be a 3v5. That is 2 dragons over to D5. At least we're unlikely to see an early flip at Elder.
Again, James the Governor doing a lot of work in the top lane tower. It's ultimately down to bot lane just to be respectful here and not step up knowing that the Gwen is taking this tower. I really feel like that Nocturne ulti must have been a misclick of some sort, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely prompted the attack from D5. Yep. They saw that was down, and then they assumed that, you know, they had the agency on the map. There will be no response from the Nocturne for at least another minute. Don't waste any time.
Like to initiate a mod check in the chat for the recent comment as well.
Yeah, Hollow, that's fight and talk. Fight and talk. I'm pretty sure you're an Emerald in solo queue, buddy. That's you know, it's a strong statement.
Yep. So obviously after that play, we're kidding. Oh, we're seeing the Paranoia being used in the mid lane. We've got a fight going on. It is a 3 versus 3. Jarvan has been able to get the kill onto the Nautilus. So this play has really not worked out for Brod. But E in from the Ezreal. But the root, the callback from the Xayah is able to pick up that kill. Jarvan is able to hunt down the Nocturne. And Nemli is just left standing in the mid lane, wondering where the rest of his team have disappeared to.
Started off front to back, and then the flash away. Both summons from Change of Heart blown at the last second bait Yeti in. That is really rough. D5 starting to pick up a lot of takedown gold. They will actually have a gold lead there for the first time for a few seconds. Will be equalized with this tower. They are surviving the Brody presence right now.
Ultimately, I think this is kind of Brody not understanding the composition very well. I've got this very strong Gwen on the side lane. Xayah versus Ezreal. This should be realistically just 2 AD carries farming in mid lane, no one really interacting with them. And I really feel like Brody needs to be playing more through these side lanes. You know, D5's doing a really, really good job of kind of matching the plays that Brody keeps opting into. You know, doing a really good sort of job of just stabilizing the game overall, just punishing overplays from Brod. But they need to start playing through these side lanes. They can't just keep pushing into the Xayah, right? It's not working for them. It's not how the composition should be working. And I really feel like if they continue to do this, they're going to just bleed and lose the game out, considering the D5 has such good scaling on that Swain and Soraka. And like I said in Champs, I really feel like they're going to struggle to kill the Swain.
It's going to be a struggle. I'd like to see the Ezreal assignment as well. It just allows you the double coverage with the Nocturne, that even if they do get through the Arcane Shift and the Flash, no matter which side the Nocturne's hovering, the Paranoia will just clip mid lane, especially now he's gone past level 11. Which allows you that extra degree of safety.
Yep. Herald used bot lane here. Could be indicating they're going to try and go for a Baron push.
Oh, we are seeing pings on Baron. Yep, some pings. Doesn't look like. Yeah. Seeing a little battle for vision. The Rift Herald has finally reached that bot tier 2 there, so we will see that going down. We'll see if the Governor wants to opt into a fight here with the Zac.
I love this. Going as slow as possible. There is no need to push the envelope. Go and get that mid wave back in and just watch the governor destroy the side lane.
What?
I've said it, and I've said it again. I'm so what?
Gwen on the bot lane though has just taken a tier 3. He is fighting CJ Flame, and he will be able to pick up the kill. So this is
has to be the cancel on the Baron.
They have to
Bod
decide.
can just play with it here.
The Saraka goes down.
Unfortunately, James the Governor Gove has been taken out. A timely teleport in from Paul George kept the blobs alive. D5 will run away with the tail between their legs. 2 and 2 over the extended play. The Broad take down a bottom and inhibitor tower to continue their advantage forward.
And Broad finally actually started playing with the side lane, right? Obviously, like I said, Nocturne steps up a little bit too far, doesn't respect the Fog of War line that they have. But James the Governor Gove on the side, putting in a hell of a lot of pressure in now with the inhibitor down. And now D5, they have to be aware of this, right? The Drake isn't a win condition right now. This Baron realistically is. If the Gwen can keep split pushing on bot lane and Broad doesn't get caught out on the Baron, she could threaten a backdoor here, because I don't think anybody can actually face tank this Gwen. They have to send 2 people towards the Gwen to stop her.
We're going to be seeing the next Drake coming up in about 35 seconds, which is going to be a Mountain Soul as well. Which kind of compositions are you looking at, or what kind of champions are you seeing that are going to benefit most from having a soul like the Mountain Soul?
Extra shield on top of an Nocturne goes a long way in my book. What do you think, Josh?
I mean, for D5 sides, I mean, obviously Mountain Soul is just stats, it's a shield, but I don't think it changes anything on that side lane. I still think this Gwen just melts whoever goes onto the side versus it's great for
picking mid as CJ Flame, not quite living up to his famous title. Squid Salah dives in and breaks open a front to back.
He's living for so long.
All George straight into the middle. Will it be enough? D4 trying to make their reapproach. They will be able to just about split the Governor from the rest of his team. He's healing so much, but it's not quite enough. Double kill for Reet and Zaya. 2-0, but the Broad can still play from long range with this Ezreal. If the Zac, if the Java manages to land and engage, this could be absolutely lethal.
And going back to what I said before, Broad did a really good job. Did a really good job before playing through that side lane with the Herald. Now they just start gripping again randomly. This is not what wins them the game, right? They have to go back into the side lane. They have to start using this Gwen as a pressure point. Again, they're not facing Drake Soul right now. They've got 5 minutes to play for that side lane and put pressure on this Baron. They need to do it now, honestly.
Yeah, I think too many more of these fights already. That Jarvan a huge threat with that Kempunk sword finished. The Nocturne also is huge, but he can't just engage onto a fight in the mid lane and just group up like that. It's just a complete waste, and much squishier to boot, much more vulnerable. Once again, James the Governor Gove steps into the bottom lane. 1 versus 1, teleports up for both top laners. Who will blink first?
Yep, we might see a kind of contestation of vision now that this dragon has been kind of get over to the D5 roster. But obviously, in that scenario as well, they thought they caught the Zac. They thought they had caught him napping. They thought they could just burst him down, but he lived for just so long. Nocturne ult was even kind of put over onto the Jarvan, maybe thinking that they've already killed the Zac, we'll move on to our next target. But there was so much disruption from the D5 side, it just turned into such a messy team fight. The Swain has now been kind of put on Gwen duty. We are seeing a semi-engage, but here we go. We have the fight in the bot lane, Swain versus this Gwen.
It's looking pretty Governor favored right now. A little bit of fancy footwork from both means that the ultimate from Governor does not secure what would have likely been a kill. That third set of needles, massive amount of damage. Salah, get caught here again, I swear to God, I'll flame you. Come on.
It's Gwen ultimate on such a low cooldown at this point in the game as well.
It's halfway back already.
Yeah. And the Swain has had to back again so that he has full health for this another fight, but this inhib in the bot lane is going to be under threat. We're getting a back there as well from the Zac to try and help this Swain deal with the Gwen as well. So as you said, having to send multiple members in order to be able to deal with the Governor. And this allows, obviously, Broad in this scenario, they're going to get the mid push. Now they're going to get control over the Baron and this top side. We've got Hazard stepping up quite far away from anyone, but he's got confidence to be able to go straight onto Salah. And it looks like he's winning this one. Doesn't want to step too
plus
far.
the paranoia will buy him space, but the Baron begun here with the Governor in base. That difficult question, would he TP into the game? He's going for the flank. TP's in from both sides. Change of heart is so low here.
He's going to find him in the backline as well. The Governor is trying to get these needles down, but he is going to get Soraka, and that is all he's going to get. We're seeing Nautilus as well engaging on one side. The Zac
is huge.
It is.
Yet he's got to do his best to dissuade this Baron now. There are minions plowing into the base, but it's not enough on his own. He's so low as well. Paul George so healthy, so full of mana.
He's going to
Will get a Mystic Shot across. Oh, if that hit, Hazard would fall on the next Baron strike. Will get the shot in. Will fall to Paul George shortly after. But that's a Baron reset. That's time. Nemly might be able to teleport in, or the tempo has been dissuaded at least somewhat.
Yeah, and again, Squid Salah, I really feel like they're just getting caught out a lot here. They're going for a very squishy build. They are also queuing towards the enemy that's approaching them. That's not something you can queue away from you. Get a little bit of move speed to run. But ultimately, Rods and friends, they're kind of just getting caught out all the time on this Baron. They're not playing respectfully. You know, you don't have to just be there on top of the Baron. Just play it slow. You don't need to force anything, and that's ultimately why they keep dying here. But they've done a really good job most of the time on the side lanes to kind of push the waves out, dying minions. That's why the gold isn't that far behind, honestly. It's only 3k gold with 3 Drakes down and 10 kills, right? So they've done a good job, at least they're still in this game. But they really just got to sort out their position. They've really got to sort out, do they actually just step up together as a team? Do they step up as one, as two? They need to make that communication much more clearer.
Yeah, I think they also need to be aware that, you know, this is Aya. There's just so much more in a fight than an Ezreal in a few seconds. DPS so much higher. It's great if Ezreal can play throughout the entire fight. It's not fair at this stage, though. It's not even.
I kind of got to give props to D5 as well. You know, they've been fighting these really good fights, completely, you know, fearless, kind of stepping up into the fight, forcing plays before losing their base, right? So you've really got to give props to them for playing the game well, you know, finding these opportunities to break that kind of stalemate on the side lane.
Yeah, Governor is once again banging on an inhibitor while an objective comes up.
Yep, he is doing exactly what Gwen is designed to do for this comp. Obviously, Swain had to catch the bot lane. The super minions were coming into the base, so that gives Gwen a nice little matchup into the Zac. We've seen how that goes for the Governor, but this is going to be a very interesting fight now for this Mountain. Obviously, it's Mountain Soul for D5 in this scenario, and a nice little pullback from the Swain. Paul George, nice little land on those. Will we see an engage? The ult is popped from the Swain.
Get the Mountain Soul, they will come forward. Squid Salah slightly displaced. Nemly going low, will evade death. Nocturne falls once again. A little bit of a check-in in the top lane, perhaps. Objective bounties will be available soon. The Governor got away by the skin of his teeth. CJ Flame running forwards. Will get the pullback. It's so close. Won't quite finish off the Gwen. As Broad now in full defense mode, trying to pick out these minions, trying to do anything they can to stop the D5 offensive.
That's a really big shock in the side lane. Zac actually coming out ahead in the trade on the side lane.
I feel the tower might have been involved.
There must be some tower assistance there. But we are...
Oh my, Snuggly barely survives a second there. Reeton just so strong as they push forwards. It's an inhibitor down each now.
Yep, Zac has continued to push this top lane out, so they have got a lane to rotate from mid into top now as well, so this Baron is being used to its fullest as well. Obviously we do have that bot lane, there are super minions coming that Swain will lovely collect. We are seeing the Gwen. Gwen will collect that mid wave as well, and we're just seeing a back away from D5. I think their Baron just timed out there as they rotated up into the top lane, so they're not going to be able to find that tower just yet. They will go to base. They've got a lovely bit of gold in their back pockets as well, because obviously their kind of play went from that dragon fight and moved into the mid lane as well. So they'll go back and spend that money that they just accrued for themselves.
Tense position. This mid lane inhibitor just so easy to push up through the mid lane. It's kind of hard to see here where Body will find a way back in. The ultimate in from Squid Salah not offering much at this stage of Paranoia. Oh, truly missed out on it. Collapse towards the bot lane. This is all of D5 coming to say hi to James the Giving Go in the bottom lane.
Yep, he has been left uncontested quite a fair bit. This is the first time we're really seeing a collapse, but it is picture perfect. Being able to identify that they can get the damage onto the Gwen and kill him before he is able to push that threat on the side lane. That is a nice catch, and obviously they are donated another kill as well as the Nocturne falls for the 7th time in this game, so not having the best with this matchup. And this could just be D5 just running it down mid and ending the game here.
Difficult position. Yeti tickling away. Only 2 items on this Ezreal, not adding a lot right now. I'll be snugly falling. The Nexus tower is melting like butter.
A heal as well from the Soraka means that the D5 roster are lovely in health. They will look to pad the stats with a couple more kills. Let's see if they're going to go for a little fountain dive. They'll just take the Nexus.
Right, in a shock victory. We thought Brody had it there. We thought the side lane play would be enough to just see them through this game. Unfortunately, not to be. D4 Gamers, congratulations on your victory. We're going to go to a quick technical break as some things are not going so cool with production. They are rather warm, and we'll be right back for the next round, or we'll see how we go. We see how we go. Welcome back to the UKEL Open Qualifiers. We've had a quick change. Thank you, Previous and Kaya, for joining me this evening. But now, the TriCast. I'm joined by Brackish Brit and Zika. How are you guys doing? How's your Tuesday night?
What am I doing here? No, it's great. Thanks for having me on Temporal. It's a pleasure to be here once again. Oh,
I see how it is. Zika, what about you?
Yeah, pretty
much
good.
love,
No complaints to be had. It's been a quiet night, but it's been a good night nonetheless.
Quiet no longer. This is the do or die match. We're just waiting for confirmation from the UKL which game will actually be going forwards in the final round. It's a bit of a seeding situation, as unfortunately Rod and friends did not win against the D4 Gamers, and we are now here figuring out who will be in this final game.
just digging through. I'm sure at one point historians will figure out the sense behind it all. But yeah,
I was about
right
to
now,
say, but Temporal, how does the seeding work? And the answer is none of us know.
nobody knows.
And the answer is it's
Like
done by hand.
QI.
It's Project Paradox versus Rise, it appears.
Ah,
We're just
you can tell we
just-
cast together a bunch of just exactly synchronized. Holy
we're just
moly.
we're just gonna sort of pass that over to production. I don't have any of the details for these teams on my current friends list, so we're gonna set production at them just in case they
throw
have
it at
already
them.
started. You know, just in case.
Careful.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
No, I don't think so. I think they might have started a little while ago, actually. I think the pairings might have been set. We're just going to double check. So that is Rise on one side. I don't have Paradox. Or is that right? We're going to figure this out because that might be the... All right, there's still the last match from last round. Still going.
Okay.
See.
Well, at least
So
we're
we got the rest of this
can
game, and I
waffle.
do see inhibitors going down.
Okay.
Not a Nexus push.
the
though,
game
a
is
Nexus
not
push.
too
So,
long for this world then.
Is it
Yeah.
waffle time?
Oh,
It is waffle time. I'm gonna remove my misleading messages from certain chats that are like, "Help, get me in." And it's like, no, like it's
the game
it's
has already
different
started and
different
is
game.
probably nearly ending. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
So,
Serious moment. Please behave yourselves. That is not okay. Anyway,
we can touch on
What
last
were you
game a little
telling me
bit. That's
is-
the one that's most fresh in my memory.
yeah, let's. What were you guys' impressions? Obviously, it's still burned into my retinas, but let's elucidate our viewers. If you've come over from Doctor's stream, welcome. We are covering the last game, that last do or die tiebreaker, and we hope Harry gets to bed on time.
much needed. Unlike the rest of us, he actually needs his beauty sleep.
Yeah, no, that last game was a thing. Poor Governor trying his best in the side lane, sniffing away. It didn't quite go anywhere. Can we talk about Nocturne, or are we just gonna leave that in a corner?
Man, Nocturne's so good in that matchup. It's criminal. Oh.
It is
Yeah, but
unfortunate
are we talking
how...
about the performance as a whole? Because it was a bit underwhelming.
That was
Little
unfortunate.
bit.
I don't blame Sally. You know, I've sneezed and hit R on my keyboard a few times, whether it be Carthus or Nocturne, as long as the opponents can tell.
We forget, of course,
Really sad.
the power in the past of the threat of activation on Paranoia, where you press it and just with no intention of actually jumping on anyone, just to spook them into giving up pressure on the map. I can't say I value that strategy that highly, but I still, a couple of years ago, I remember G2 or a couple of other teams just pressing Paranoia purely for the psychological warfare, which well, it didn't work out this time, but you know, I'm sure statistically it has worked out.
Bird goes burr, as we found out. Bird does indeed go burr.
Yeah, it was like the swing was so kind of medium,
Both the
and then a
birds go
victim,
burr.
and then just enough in that last fight. He was Knuff.
I
And Zaya was
fact
more
that
than enough.
the fact that Swain is just able to step all the way up into Brody and completely no any chance of stepping in for contest, that kind of told that tells the story of where Brody was at that point. They were making some good fights. They were coming back a bit. And then George just walks into them, demonic ascension on, and they cannot.
Face smash.
Yeah.
I mean, even going past that, you look at Salah trying to do something. You've got Featherstorm Wish to contend with on that backside. So even if you manage to find one of these key targets with that Paranoia, they ain't dying. Not anytime soon, anyway. You get wished on, you get Featherstormed, you get Blade Called, your health has suddenly gone. Then there's a Jarvan Flagon dragging on top of you. And Cataclysm plus Equinox, already a terrifying combo at base. So suddenly your team fight becomes very scattered, very torn apart very quickly, just through the champions that are put together on the opposite side.
And speaking of Equinox, when against a Nocturne, a lot of the time you can probably guess where he's going. So just put Equinox down on top of whoever he's going to land on. It's like, okay, well, no Nightbringer, no Unspeakable Horror for you, and you don't even get your spell shield. Like, you're just sat there trying to auto down Azaya or whichever target you've chosen.
It was alright earlier on, like attacking the Zac and attacking the Jarvan, because that's like what it's for. It's like to duel. But then, like, you're right. As soon as that Zaya's got going, it's like such a different level of being able to just fist fight.
And it's not like you've got an AD carry that can bite back on the other side, right? You're dealing with an Ezreal. The champion doesn't come online properly until that 3-4 item point. And getting to that point when you're against Azaya, who is this hyper-accelerated, is so much harder than in any other matchup, because you can't E forward aggressively. You can never use that arcane shift in a manner to get your damage down, because the second you do, you've got 3 feathers behind you, it's pulled back, and you're probably Equinoxed as well.
Yeah.
Difference.
One thing I also want to bring up, we saw in both of the first 2 games, Jarvan getting extremely high priority. And the resurgence of Jarvan, particularly here in UKEL, it seems like, I mean, obviously, we know that the big junglers have been targeted for nerfs a lot, but Sejuani's still really good. Maokai's still really good. And I'm not too sure that, in my mind at least, Jarvan just beats those.
Jarvan is comfort a lot of the time. Maokai...
It's easy to execute, right?
Yeah.
You are the go in, you are the burner cooldown with your Cataclysm. It's just so straightforward.
The big difference between Jarvan and Maokai Sedge is Maokai Sedge are very non-committal. They can throw these engages out, and even if they land, you don't have to take them. Once Jarvan's in, he's in. And it enforces this idea of, okay, we go on the go button. We go on the go button. And the Maokai Sedge don't have that same level, because there's that extra level of decision making of, okay, do we actually want to take the fight based on what's landed? A lot of the time the answer is no. You're just using it to buy yourself space and to buy a bit more time so the enemy can't jump onto you. So this Jarvan being able to flag and drag in, drop the Cataclysm down, and just kind of annihilate one target or set another team member up to ruin the day of whoever you jump on, is infinitely more value than maybe Glacial Prison or a maybe Twisted Advance to try and maybe get something out of that.
We have a question from Beartree in Twitch chat, and it's, is Retirement Home out? Retirement Home did fall to NXT in that last round. I don't have their overall score though. So a quick look back gets us. They've lost the last 2. It's not looking good.
I think it's
majority 2 wins.
If you've only won the 1.
Yes, they are still in it to win it. They might be showing up in our last game of the day.
Ooh.
Conversely, with the Jarvan though, the reason of Sejuani and Maokai being non-committal, I would say, is actually a strength, because Jarvan goes in, and the rest of the team has to follow, no matter how bad the engage is. So sometimes Jarvan EQ ults into the biggest I'm Jarvan, I'm helping scenario imaginable, and his team has to follow him or leave him to the wolves. And that can just, sometimes you are just throwing gold at the enemy team at that point.
Well, the nice thing about having that Jarvan, though, especially in a game like that, is you're not really at risk of locking anybody in the Cataclysm. You don't want to lock in there. You've got a Zac who can easily escape. You've got a Swain who's going to love to be stuck in there with 2 or 3 people. That ult is going to keep ticking no matter what. And your Xayah Soraka should never be far enough away to get locked in this Cataclysm anyway. And it gives you that really easy go button that you can just commit on. And with a lot of these lower level teams, especially ones that maybe haven't been together as long, because of course seasons have just ended across Europe, we're only just getting people come back in and come back LFT. So these teams likely haven't been together for that long. It's just an easy to execute, comfortable champion you've played with time and time again because it's always relevant, it's always around in the meta in some capacity. So you don't have to worry about trying to think, okay, well, this person plays Sejuani very differently to how this person plays it. This person always looking for the meaningful engage. This person throws their ult out like it's candy at a convention kind of thing. There's definitely pros and cons to both sides, but I think for the lower levels of play, Jarvan does just hold that edge because while there is less flexibility in what he wants to be doing, there is a lot more ease of execution for himself and for the rest of the team.
To blow that back out there, so we're on for Jarvan. And what else have you guys seen on this tournament? Which games have you caught? And are there any other picks that we're watching for that have caught your eye? We're going to start with Brackish.
Honestly, it's looking for the most part pretty standard, and then you've got the Jarvan coming up, and there's a couple of big pocket picks, obviously, that we've seen some people pull out and do their thing on the Swain in particular. That last game has not been something that we see very much of, but in the right situation can be destructive, as George showed us. Yesterday was a bit of a fever dream, I'm not gonna lie. I remember more of our conversation than the games we watched.
It's all right. That's the way it goes. It was 8 people. It was
that was a ride.
It was a bit more conventional this evening. Just shocking how that goes.
As for me, I'm noticing a lot of presence with the more enchanter-based supports. We're not seeing as much Rakan. We're not seeing as much Rel. We're still seeing some of the Nautilus and very little Leona. So we're looking at more Sorakas, Lulus, Melios, these kind of things. We're also seeing a lot of Xayah Zeri. And Zeri is the big one because Zeri, at higher levels of play, has largely been played, but in Div 1, Div 2 ERLs, we're seeing less and less of it, especially in Division 2 and below. So the fact that Zeri is still holding such a high precedence in this series, in this tournament specifically, is very, very interesting at a baseline level because of what this champion can do. And we kind of saw it last night. Zeri hits that 3-item point. If you can't catch her out with something like a Trouble Bubble, again, calling back to last night's Game 3, you're in a much weaker position because this champion, it does so much for a team. But I've also been seeing a lot more of these unconventional tanks being taken into this top lane. Tanks that have historically been able to be played up in top lane, but have never thrived compared to that maybe jungle's counterparts. So I'm really interested for this last game at the very least to see if we see any more of these interesting tanks in the top lane, see if we maybe drop back to more of a standard Aphelios, Varus, Xayah type drafts that we've been seeing in high levels of play in AD carry, maybe go back to engage supports, or are we going to keep seeing these enchanters? Are we going to keep seeing these more mobile, more damage, single damage heavy AD carries that don't necessarily have a lot they can do outside of one massive cooldown?
Okay. We do have news from the chopper in the sky. Casually QZ watching the other games. That's the final game of round 5 has ended, and the round 6, the tiebreaker, is coming in real hot. It's coming in real heavy. We are just waiting for operations to kick that one out. Almost time.
Following up on what you were saying there, Jika, is the return of enchanters is kind of one of the big things of 13-16, because we see Lulu got buffed, Milio got buffed, Karma got buffed. 3 of the big enchanter supports are now coming back in, and we saw the Soraka last game. Clearly people are like, okay, well, enchanters are better now. We do still see some of the tanks, and I think this is almost kind of that perfect spot for the support meta, where we're not just seeing, oh, okay, everyone's going to play Rakan, Nautilus, maybe a little bit of Leona, a bit of Rel. We've instead got this balance, this rock, paper, scissors almost, of supports of, okay, well, hard engaged supports can be countered by Braum, for example. Braum loses to enchanters. Enchanters lose to hard engage. And I think that is a much better ecosystem to have, because it means that individual supports can play to their strengths rather than just playing what is meta.
Absolutely.
You gotta get that influence in. That's always going to be the way. Minimum gold, maximum output.
Personally, I'm quite shocked we've not seen Lucian Melio make a reappearance, both being buffed on 13-16, I believed, quite significantly, no doubt. Melio buffs are very, very strong for that lane phase, and the the Lucian buff's coming in very strong to make him be a bit of a better AD carry overall. So it'll be interesting to see just how that goes, just how it plays out. If we do get to see that lane, I think it used to be strong. It'll come back strong because they've both been buffed. Who knows? But the Rakan is something I'm especially shocked we're not seeing because it can do everything. It can be this primary engage/disengage for your team just based on the amount of mobility this champion has in its kit. It's got healing, it's got shielding, it's got area CC, it's got charm. It can build both tanky, it can build enchanter, it can build whatever it wants to. It's one of these champions that tries to do a lot, but does it very successfully, unlike a lot of these other champions who want to do a lot of things but can't do everything all at once. Think your Kaisers, your Varuses, they want to do a lot of things, they can only really do one thing at a time. Hence why we see AP Varus, Poke Varus, and on-hit Varus all be very different things. Rakan kind of just does it all anyway, no matter what he's
all the time.
Yeah,
Mr. In and out.
Mr. Everywhere all at once is Rakan, and he is one of these chip picks that we see lower level teams rely on because he can do so much, because he can allow a team to make some mistakes, he can bring them out of danger very quickly, he can make sure they're able to step forward and play fights. I don't know if it's just been banned in every game, it was banned in 1 or 2, I did see, but I'm really interested.
We had a fair bit of Rakan today. We had a fair bit outside of the Soraka game. Just
That's
is
what
it is. Bear Tree has a comment on the meta. He says Buzzy is the softest kid in UKEL, and yet isn't playing enchanters. Explain that. That's because Buzzy's graduated to engage.
Isn't
he's
playing
graduated to
Yumi
specifically.
Specifically.
He's just
softest kitten and is not playing the cat.
He's not meowing. It's just not okay.
Hang on, it's like good. He's not playing the cat. Keep that out of my competitive meta.
Yumi is more interactive since her rework. It is much more fun to watch.
You're not wrong. I just hate it.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. I'll put it this way, and Brackish can attest. I used to refuse point blank to play with Yumi before her rework. I would just not play. I would, but I just hated laning with it. It felt crap. Excuse my French. It felt awful.
Right.
To try and play with for the rework.
We have an update from Bear Tree. The Buzzy is in fact meowing. He's just doing it with different champions. So it's good to know. It's the insight we needed to Tempest Gaming's first seed in this tournament.
Is this the insider knowledge? We're gonna have a support Rengar?
Maybe. Oh no. But we might have Heimerdinger from Rob in the next phase. We were threatened by that by Mac yesterday. It just never came to be. Instead, we had a really nice support draft trap on 3, I believe, from Rob. It was really nice. Really cool. We are just waiting for this last game to be seeded. There is gears spinning round in the UKEL wheelhouse. Nearly there.
Slowly but surely.
We're just...
In the meantime, let's have a look at what's happening next. I'm kidding. I've got next patch's patch notes open in front of me as well, so...
In the meantime, we can sit here and try and maintain composure.
That's all right. We're doing it. NASA's Trundle, it's good, bro. Rob, this was best of ones. This is where you meant to use that stuff.
Cut it.
I mean, with Zeri coming back in, maybe we do see the
We will see NASA's come back. We will see NASA's come back from Zeri because...
But Europe will lose best of ones at Worlds using it. It's tragic.
The slower we can... the slower you can make Zeri, the harder it is for her to get to a wall. The harder it is for her to get to a wall, the harder it is for her to escape from a fight.
What if you run Naxus and Trundle? It's like, okay, well, you slow down...
Slows don't stack.
No. You slow down with
the other.
W, and then you use the pillar to keep her away from the wall.
But if you place it too close to the wall, she'll just go straight over, and you've effectively made it worthless.
This just seems like cyberbullying, I'm not going to lie.
It's a Zeri, they deserve
At that point, just subjugate her and say, screw
you. Minutes away. Trundle versus Norlis next game. All right, Rob. All right, you've set yourself up for that. I'm excited.
That sounds sleeper.
I'm excited.
Anything else? That sounds like such a boring lane.
Nautilus goes in and then, like, literally actually
shields all of Trundle's damage because he has no gold to do damage.
I want to do a quick personal shout out. Rise, the winner of that last match, will not be in this elimination match. Congratulations. Pelican, you absolute monster. You've qualified for the UKEL in some capacity. You will be going to that double elimination bracket. You've earned this. Good job.
Nicely done.
Nicely
Proud
done.
of you.
He can't play Nami every game anymore, but it's still really good.
She's actually like quite good at the moment.
Yeah.
Mate, I saw some Lucian stats earlier. I'm just like, that's not okay.
Okay, let's
Lucian just on his own.
Let's dispel this myth. Nami does not need Lucian anymore.
Nami doesn't
Yeah,
need
they
Lucian.
don't need each
Lucian,
other.
Lucian needs Nami or Melio in 99%
No.
of cases. In 99%
because-
of cases.
So I
In
thought that,
99% of
and I
cases.
saw the build earlier, and
Oh.
I don't think it's true anymore. It was it was all with
So when
Nautilus.
they changed his vigilance to proc on immobilizers as well, it means that he can go with engaged supports perfectly fine. Like Lucian Brom used to be a really
We interrupt
impressive
this
tank.
studio broadcast to go to the news helicopter. Unlucky Purify and Volpine Esports. You did not make the cutoff. The seeding is against you in whatever capacity it works in this tournament. Still to play the final tiebreaker: Revolt Chemtech versus Lions Creed Lionesses.
That is all from the news helicopter.
That's a bit of a surprise because Revolt Chemtech, obviously, they were 2-0 at first, and then I remember Max saying on the broadcast yesterday that whoever played against them in round 3 had the freest 3-0 on day 1, and that proved to be pathetic.
So rude.
I mean, that's what he said.
I'm
just the messenger.
there is
They
another
don't reflect my
interesting.
own views.
There is another interesting aspect on the other side of that, and that is Lions Creed Lionesses, based on what I've seen anyway, are running with Yusa, I believe.
Yeah, they played Yusa AD carry earlier today. That
Yusa
little roll swap didn't work out.
One of these. I mean, Yusa's been an AD carry for a while, hasn't he?
They were
Yusa.
listed as jungle for this tournament.
Interesting. I was gonna say Yusa is an AD carry main from what I understand, and has been up quite high in NLC in the past.
Is that the same
So,
user? Because Lionesses is an all-female team.
That's what I said when I saw it earlier, and I was like, this doesn't make much sense, but it tracks to a degree, because I don't think there's another Yusa.
That's all right. We'll figure it out. Maybe drag them in for an interview later if the technology wants to work.
We'll figure it out.
Technology working with us? The
Fake
world's going
news.
to stop.
Fake news.
If the day
All right.
technology works with us is the day everything goes to crap and it's the apocalypse.
Did you both catch the Lions Creed game we did for game 1?
I didn't.
I
Correct?
caught
It's
some-
all right. Like, I rushed home
Yeah.
from work to get here for this. Like, if we didn't, I'll quickly surmise. So, there's a bit of an issue just in the mid game executing. What was an earlier game comp with a Lissandra, a Viego, 2v2 around mid, and a Cassidin got going into the late game. It was a bit rough, and then the game ended. That was the very, very Cliff Notes version. But yeah, didn't super play the tempo. So Lions Creed, I kind of want to see like a more executable or executed game plan. If they're going to come back up to that level, that's the goal I'm setting them here without knowing much about Revolt Chemtech myself. We've somehow dodged them in this qualifiers. Chat, if you wanna lob in, if you wanna throw any match result screeners our way, Leaguepedia would be great. But alas, we're out here in the UK.
Because of course.
Paragon beat them with Senna Wukong in round 2. Go on, Rob. Drop me that screenshot. That'll be a good one.
News helicopter, news helicopter.
I love Senna Wukong. That's such a great combo.
Old school Mad Lions tech right there.
Nah, right. We had Previous on earlier. I'd be remiss to tell you he stole it from SK Prime. We ran it in the UKEL on Thursday. Picked up Vector Gaming's first win. We played Shyvana jungle when it was completely out of meta. Before
go.
AP jungle had come along, and then we played Senna Wukong in the bot lane because our top laner was playing support.
Was this
And then the Friday SK Prime, who we definitely didn't nobble that from, played it, and then on the Saturday, Mad Lions played it. So we beat them by a whole 48 hours.
that Vector roster? Was that
The most tragic one? No, I'm kidding.
Well,
they were great.
No, I was gonna say, I
We didn't
have
win
it
a
in
lot,
my
but they were
memory because
great.
I think I took on 2 Vector players for Lucendi not long after.
Synapse
and Hawkeye.
Sprinter and Hawkeye, yes. Hawkeye, well, they were the bot lane.
Yeah, because Synapse went back up to the top lane for UKEL back then.
And he's already qualified.
Yeah,
He's
He's
already in.
back. he's here
He's
again
already in top lane for
Arcadia.
Arcadia Gaming.
alongside
Alright, we
Blank,
have,
who I think used AD carry at the time.
Yeah, we have some screen grabs from Paragon's game against Revolt. We're going to pass these over to production in a moment, and they do sort of show a interesting Senna Wukong
They tell
story.
a story.
Absolutely.
I also believe we're on a little bit of a delay while things are figured out on UKEL's end.
Yeah, we did have that pairing, and there's just a little bit of
Suddenly
discussion
gone,
about how everything
gone to the
works. You know,
ground.
gotta have everyone on the same page. So we've got these to potentially look at in the meantime, as we are waiting just for that final game. I really thought we'd be done by 10 today. Game 1 was so fast. Alas, it's 10 p.m.
We can talk
I
about
want my
which
hot
is
water
truly
bottle.
tragic.
What's tragic?
Zerath getting nerfed on 13-17.
Oh, get him gone. He's broken. It's too much.
I love my artillery mages. I can show it.
Yeah,
on
but I love being able
wasn't
to hit
joking.
them at least once a game.
I wasn't joking when I said I went to MSI with this sign.
Bubsix, let's go. Oh, it's massive.
Can we shut the camera down? Just pack it all up.
Get
it's
him,
done.
get him out of here. No, I'm kidding.
I love Zegs,
Oh.
but I sadly I'm
Ooh.
Did I hear that right?
Ooh.
We are.
All right, so this is Paragon versus
okay.
Revolt.
Okay.
Baited slightly by production. It's okay. They are the best.
And we've got
This
the victor
is-
as well. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
Paragon,
is the round
very
2
close
for
to the heart
Paragon
right
against Revolt. Their first loss in the tournament. A pretty interesting setup. Nico quite early there, but Blitzcrank Pantheon a really nasty last rotation.
But where
I
is
think
your
I think-
damage coming from in the mid to late game other than your Ezreal?
Yeah, it's a bit much, isn't it? I think there is no mid to late game with that Pantheon login. That's
that is the
pretty
risk
tough.
you take when you pick Pantheon. Like,
yeah.
don't tell Arsharon, but yeah, unfortunately Pantheon.
It's all right.
And it turns
Ashram
into
knows
a-
there are sacrifices and trades to be made for greatness. That's
That's
actually that's kind of his personality right now. That's a good time. I've just noticed in response to tier list events that Rob has named himself D tier on Discord. I see that, Rob. I've only just noticed. And the score screen at the end, we can see the blind boy picked up the Volibear in the top lane, piloted that successfully, played through that Pantheon, and Fruity Carrots, absolute monster in this tournament.
That's
It's a
something.
19 KDA.
Pretty solid. Love to see
All
the
right.
victor as well. Very
Brody, the center on our screen, is currently asking me if I can bump Rob up the tier list to A++. I'll make him his own Rob layer. We'll have him exactly where he needs to go.
We'll just put him in Rob tier.
Rob
Put him in Rob tier, which is somewhere.
Somewhere.
When
yeah.
I choose to open that cursed spreadsheet again, I'm not doing another 3 hours, folks. It was a lot, yeah.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, I do like the double Shadow Flame, sort of making the most of both teams there. Sorry, both items, like as they sort of, offer that squishy damage and then more squishy damage as you do damage to the squishies. It's like a nice doubling down.
There's not really many shields to make it full worth, but it's definitely
Nah,
a pretty good.
it's still so good just to play into like mixed health bars. I can't imagine it getting through the next preseason unscathed, just because of how effective it can be.
So apparently the helicopter was initially correct.
Oh my gosh! All right, Revolt Chemtech, I'm so sorry. You've actually been removed from the final match. You have auto qualified to the next round. Project Paradox, you are no longer auto qualified to the next round. You're going to be playing some League of Legends.
Up against the Lions Creed Lionesses. So the two teams we were talking about 5-10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that'll do.
Intriguing. Handy. Very good.
I mean, this is UK esports through and through.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It's so
If it
good
was
to be
easy,
back.
we wouldn't be doing
We've
it.
been here since
It's
always.
so good to be back.
Yeah, no doubt. And thankfully, there is no shortage of UK broadcast talent as well to put up with it.
Huge.
We wouldn't have it any other way. Come on now.
All right, we'll be getting into the lobby real shortly. I believe we are a go.
Am I going to get to see a
Still.
coherent draft today, or am I going to have another heart attack as it goes?
Mate.
This is-
Game one was not coherent. It was almost coherent. Just wasn't greatly executed upon.
This is why I like being a peak Gold 1 scrub that has never done any coaching, because I can look at a draft and go, that's interesting. but I'm never sat there like having an aneurysm about it.
Then you've got us who are sat here
Yeah,
like,
no, and
well,
you can suffer, and I can be like, oh, I'm just happy to be here, guys.
oh, the fortune of those who have never done coaching.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Blessed is the mind too small for doubt.
It's important. It's important.
I can see again.
Shock. We are seconds away from draft as Project Paradox are given a moment to ready themselves for this final game. As, yeah, we need to, oh dear. Alright, a bit of technical difficulties behind the scenes. As Project Paradox thought they were qualified and were told they were qualified. So no longer sat at their computers right now, let alone with the promise of playing a final game. So we might be here for a few minutes. Let's keep it all fair. Keep it easy. Goodbye, GQ. You're gone. For whatever reason.
I'm sure it's just a tech pause. Either that or she's just done with it. She's just done with us. It's like, all right, screw you guys. I'm gonna go play Minecraft.
What's with Old Men and Skarner Battery? The champion was broken when I was young. That's exactly what's up.
Oh wait, hang on. This just makes his point even more valid. I love Skarner. I'm also old, however.
That's alright. That's the way it is.
I cannot wait for the
way it
Skarner
is.
rework. Get those stupid ass spires out of here. Give me my champion back.
Alright. Tournament ops are doing their thing. They're deciding right now. Yeah, it looks like it might be tomorrow. Bit of an interesting system.
Hey, do you want
Is
to
what
play
it
Magic
is.
the Gathering Temporal?
Oh god, get me away. I've kind of put that game down.
Fair, honestly.
It's difficult. It's difficult. I'm not the biggest fan of
let's do it.
selling out to Wizards
I'll
of the Coast.
I'll do some Lolder. What are you...
Oh, we can do LOL. All right. I haven't played the game for like 5 years. Oh, we're gonna get it up. We're gonna got the technology. You're gonna play along at home with us now, guys. We're gonna play some LOL as Casually Cute reminds us they are the best producer in the universe, and the technology will just work sometimes.
All right.
This is because the game might be in 5 minutes, but might be in 24 hours.
My first guess was entirely incorrect.
Oh, bro, give us the prompts. Give us the prompts. We gotta get the visual aids. We can't we can't just read it out. Give us a second.
I'm doing it on my own. Then
Oh, you're doing it on your own? Well, hang on. Let's get on stream. Let's do it together.
Okay.
Am I living?
All right, we got Jika
I think
again.
so. We're doing LOL.
Welcome back to
we're doing
LOL
Okay.
with stream.
I've done mine for the day, so I'll sit here and give hints.
All right, you're in charge, and as should be coming up on the screen soon.
Hang on,
It's all right. I'll watch the ops channel. You do this.
Okay, I've got it open in front of me.
If you wanna play along at home, get your LOL open, get your fingers ready. We're not quite there, but we're not far away. Oh boy, what an evening! What an evening!
I mean, as I said, this is what we all expected.
UK esports, everybody.
It's all right. It's what we're here for. It's what we're here to celebrate.
Yeah,
Wouldn't have it any other way.
we really wouldn't. There we go.
There we go. All right.
We in here.
I think do we play classic? Is that the thing?
Yep. You can go through all of them.
All right.
You can go through all of them.
Yesterday's champion was Pantheon. I think it's probably not going to be Pantheon again. Brack, like what do you want to start with? What should we open with? We can do this together or against each other.
I mean, I'm already 2 guesses in. If that's the case, if
You're 2 guesses in, all right? I'll play against you. I'm gonna guess Malzahar.
Okay.
Off the top.
All right.
It's all right. It's all right. Production is making this happen. The magic.
Oh, actually, let me close down the streams so I can't like steal your guesses.
Oh, I trust you. You're not screen peeking. Okay, it's a bro. They do not play middle. They are not a human or a void being. They don't have mana. Mana's a bit of a giveaway. Range. So it's a melee, non-human, non-middle champion. They're not from Shurima or the Void, so Renekton's out. Riven's a human.
People can ask for hints. but it
Riven-
will.
Don't use mana.
It will take
Importantly, also
away.
not a dude.
Very important, not a dude. I'm gonna guess Kled.
Okay.
Solid guess.
The male is not a top lane. It's not a Yordle. They are melee, and they're relatively new champion, 2016 or newer.
Mhm.
This is where the past being faded into one blur is actually a disadvantage
no
instead of
kidding.
a advantage. I gotta think
Oh,
of
man.
new melee champions that don't use mana.
All of the hints I can give you are at least the ones that they give you to use. So the quote, the ability, and the splash are all dead giveaways. So
all right, never mind.
I'll-
Never mind. It's all right.
well,
This
I've
is
got
what we're
my
here
own
for.
kind of
This is
hints
what we're
that
here
I
for,
can-
String.
I've
We're
got
here to
my
watch me
own
suffer.
kind of hints. If you
Oh,
are
yeah.
clueless, if you are
Nah,
genuinely
it's all right.
clueless,
It's all right. I need a second. I need a second.
you can ask for
Ramboing,
one.
don't help yet. Don't help yet.
You can ask
Well,
for one of the options you need, and I can tell you what it is.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there. Can't be Ezreal, Zoe, because he uses mana. Yeah, quite a lot of it, indeed.
Yeah.
We're going.
He
We're
uses
going
mana
without.
mute
We're
for a
going
reason.
without. Could it be a support? Are there any? No, all the supports I know play mana.
Well, mana. Yeah.
It's not a top laner, so it's a manaless jungle, probably. Or I don't think there's manaless. Oh wait, Samira. No, Samira's a human. Shit.
So he uses mana.
Shit. I've played 3 games with Samira ever.
Don't
When
forget
she was
energy
completely
exists.
broken. Energy.
Yeah, but
Yo, hello. Which? Oh, it's
the
Yoto
thing is,
Rambo.
energy
Rambo's
doesn't
very
count
cool.
as manaless, right?
No, it's just which resource it is. So it's not mana and it's not courage. So it's probably going to be a jungler. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. Manaless junglers, there aren't tons of them, especially melee ones.
I thought
if you-
Kane, but I was
if
like, he definitely uses mana.
Yeah, even though sometimes it really feels like he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like the quote's just gonna blow this because there's only so many ways.
The
How
quote
many
will
ma-
blow it. The quote
how
will.
many-
I'm looking at the quote now.
How many pigging manaless junglers are there? Like all the
I
ones
can
I
give
play have
you-
mana in. Right,
can-
I'm gonna confess to opening the OPGG list of all champions.
I can give you the release year. If that
No,
helps.
I'd like from 2016
not
on.
gonna
I think
help.
it'll just be a dead giveaway. Neferi has mana, right?
Yep.
Shit.
And the fairy, again, also not male.
What about the species?
Yeah, I don't know if like things that are like less human like actually have a species.
I can
Uh,
confirm this isn't something completely understandable.
Shyvana is like too old.
Before 2010, 2016.
Yeah.
Also not a dude.
Also,
Also
not a
not a
dude.
dude.
Like I've given up on the dude thing. I'm like super not attached to the gender of my characters. All right, I'm giving up on the idea of them being a jungler. I think jungle is cringe. Oh wait, how new is Zach? Zach's like right
Zach's
in there.
pretty old.
No, is he 2013?
Zach is
I think he's
pretty old.
2013. I haven't looked him up, but I think. Oh,
You know what?
God. How many manaless dudes are there? This is so cringe, chat. I've actually
Okay,
been
well, I got
annihilated.
another one.
Wait. Aphelios.
Mana.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Phileos uses mana.
You never use any of it though.
I disagree.
Like easiest champion to mana manage in like the history of the world. As we find
True.
out whether this final game is actually going to go ahead.
Yeah, have
Still
they actually
figuring it
said
out.
anything to us yet?
There's no way they count him as a jungler, right?
I haven't said it's a jungler, but it's definitely not top
No,
or
no, no,
middle.
no. I just saw a champion, but there's no way he counts as a top laner, right? As a jungler, right? Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Who?
Alright. Viego. Yo, you actually have got the Smurf answer. Is it Viego?
Yeah, no, I think it is.
You
Actually,
are.
wait.
Well, we're
correct.
going to put it through and we're going to find out.
You are correct.
Analyst
Diego is
Manny
counted
from
as
the
undead.
Shadow Isles. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna own up to
How many
that.
guesses did that
That
take?
is that
Too
is
many.
from chat. That is Brood in chat. Brody
Ah.
from Mr. Paragon himself. You are the VIP. Man,
It took me
laptop,
five. Took me 5 guesses rather than your 3, but I wasn't looking.
Well,
at
yeah,
chat.
I did 2 plus X. I was
Yeah.
handed that one.
Okay, quote is
All
up
right.
next
Quote time. Let's go.
because we're still
Oh,
waiting
wait,
for an
there's
answer.
more.
You
There's
can go through
more.
all of
Oh
them.
man,
There
I normally
is
just quit after the first one.
classic.
I'm not gonna.
There's classic. There's quote. There's ability. There's emoji, and
I
there's
mean,
splash.
this. I feel
I'm
like
ready
this
for
one
this.
has to
The
be.
sun is off his
Yeah,
axis. It's been driving me crazy for aeons now. Deanna, have I actually just griefed?
Yeah, you've just
Or
griefed.
is it
Oh,
Leo?
You've
Is it
griefed.
Leona?
Nope.
Oh, grief
You're
destroyed.
griefing. What were you gonna say, Brackish?
I'm onto the ability one, and I was like,
Oh, what did you say for
Oh
this
mate,
one?
he's straight through.
oh, I one shot it.
Yeah.
He one shot.
Think,
Oh,
okay,
it's
you've got-
Aurelian
okay,
Sol. It's
okay,
Aurelian
you've
Sol.
got two of
Yeah.
you've got 2 of the bodies in type two of the 3 types of celestial bodies.
That's all right.
Okay. Next
That's
up,
yeah, that's a bit of a dead ringer, isn't it?
ability
Champion is
icon.
that ability. This is where I admit that I struggle to see things in black and white sometimes.
You can turn challenger mode off, and it won't show black and white.
All right, we'll do that. We'll get rid of the gray filter. I think the rotation I'll manage. That is Nautilus's ability.
You've griefed.
Oh, for fuck's
I
sake!
mean-
I'm so bad at this. Or is that Nami's Q?
You've double griefed.
Oh Jesus!
You're running it.
Turn your head left by 90
Bloody
degrees.
Lord!
Yeah.
Bro, you're a play-by-play. Yeah, that's because you guys actually have to learn this stuff. I can just comment on macro.
Turn your head
and
left by
that's
90 degrees, and it will become
left by
very
90 degrees. Oh, it's Mordecai's head. Oh, bro, that's his W or passive. Lucky?
Which
No,
one?
I just don't. I just
Which one?
don't deal with rotation apparently. Which spell is it? Oh, we've gone forwards, but I think it was the passive.
It's not. It's the
This
W.
is W.
It's the W.
indestructible, it's W.
Jesus. Which champion
Okay.
do these emojis describe?
As
Evelyn.
you guessed, emojis will unlock.
I'm gonna go with Evelyn. It's not Evelyn. Dagger. That Katarina.
You know, you've done the exact same thing that
Oh
I did.
my god! But there's 2 knives. It's definitely Katarina.
You've done the same. Think Blade Dancer.
I mean, is it Samira?
Oh, no.
Wow. I'm
Blade
awful
Dancer.
at this. I
It's
know, but I don't. I
it's
know how the
pressing
champion
4
works, like
lines.
a decent
It's
level. Is it
pressing 4
Aurelia?
lines.
Is it Aurelia?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Awesome. That's
All
her
knives.
like little quote, isn't it? Amazing. Temporal is hinting. I don't do these like fun games. These
Okay,
are
the
fun.
splash. I
Oh,
won't
hey,
lie.
buddy.
The splash took me 21 tries.
Is that
to get it
giant
right.
enemy
What?
crab got? That looks like giant enemy crab got to me.
It kind of does.
All right, it's not though. I'm just tragic.
Uh,
All right, chat. This one can't be as straightforward as the rest. Clearly, I need to up my
This
level
took
game.
me 21 tries.
21.
Yeah.
Bro. Nautilus. I feel like Nautilus is too easy, Rambo. Way too easy. I also don't remember what his default splash looks like. Or isn't he like already on the bottom of the ocean?
What is?
It does
Yeah.
include skins, yes.
Outside of the oil rig one though, which I'm sure got changed to not this.
Subterranean?
Yeah, I'm sure that's already on the bottom of the ocean as well. Got a
I'm
Maokai
already 4
suggestion in
down.
chat. So I'm leaning towards tank, but I see like a ship exploding in the background. Is this a misfortune skin in the background?
Allow me to say, this will make it a bit easier because I don't want you to be here for 21 tries like I was.
No, I'm zooming it out. I'm zooming it out slowly. Shh.
Are you sure?
No, I'm kidding. Like,
Okay.
do what you
This
want.
is a bruiser.
It's a bruiser.
This is a bruiser.
Alright.
This is a top lane / jungle bruiser.
And it's like a sea scene. I'm so tired, guys.
What in the?
These champions, the whole splash out. There's a bruiser. There's a scene. I don't remember a Renekton skin with a busted
I
up.
got it.
Yeah.
All right, Brax got it. Bruiser.
That one.
Bruiser.
Yeah.
Bruiser.
Okay, got there.
It's like I'm always like so much like what is on the patch, and these games just don't care
Don't
about
care.
it. They just like, yeah, they're just
This
like,
has
oh yeah,
been-
champion you haven't thought about for like
This has been
10
seen
patches.
more top lane than jungle in recent years.
Okay, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. All right.
If we need to keep waiting, Temporal, do you play chess?
I do. I'm really mid at it.
Same. Actually, I would say I'm worse than mid, but
Excellent. I've got a chance.
yeah, we can. Alright, you can play chess in Discord, can't you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You kids and your games inside your chat rooms. It's too much for me. I just want to open the ice fishing on MSN Messenger. That's where I live.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna Maokai. Production's
Do
getting
not-
bored. No, bang
not
the
Maokai.
Maokai. Bang the Maokai. No, I don't
It
care.
is not Maokai.
Do
All right,
not
it's definitely not
recite the old
Maokai, and I can
magic
sort of
to
see
me.
the edge of
I
like
was
a
there when it
rock.
was written.
So it is written. Deep lore. Don't tell him deep lore to me. Which
I can give you a hint. I'm not sure how quickly it would give it away.
I've already got it. So
But-
I don't care.
I kind of want to compete with Brackish. I feel like me and Chat
I got
ganged
it-
up
I
on
got
him
it in
last
8.
time.
Yeah.
I mean 8. All right, so
Got it
I'm
in
doing okay for now. Is it? No, wait. Is it? It's like a splashy scene. Is it Nidalee? No.
Bruiser, remember.
Yeah, Nidalee's a bruiser if you build her right. Anyway.
Anything with a bruiser if you
Actually,
build it right.
speaking of, all right, Nidalee, the most recent buff that she got was adding an AD ratio into her kit.
Are you kidding me?
Oh man, she's
Yeah.
been so good since season 1. First time I got through gold, I think was Kale and Nidalee top lane. I was a massive Hotshot GG fan. I used to watch the
I
like
tried to-
5-man
I
CLG
tried to
streams
play-
every night.
Do you remember when GB99 used to like regularly upload actual gameplay?
Oh bro, don't do him like that.
I mean, he does his like he does his video essays. now.
Yeah,
They're
he's
awesome.
on his docu-series these days, but in my mind he's still
Yeah.
a decent Aurelia.
This is not a base.
Um,
This is not a base champion. This is a skin.
Yeah, I'd presumed. There is too much fish. And it's not pike.
That is not
Uh,
fish.
What about the other fish?
No, but it's like there's like a fishtail shape and there's like water splashing everywhere. So it's a
That is not a
little
fishtail.
rocky podium. No, it's a rocky
is not a
podium with
podium.
waves splashing on
That
it.
is a weapon.
It's a weapon.
That is a weapon.
Oh, I'm griefing.
It's Trundle's club, obviously.
Bruh. An actual good answer. I respect it.
Do not get baited. You're competing against this man.
Have we seen them in this tournament?
Oh Christ, I doubt it.
Probably
Maybe.
not.
All right, okay.
We did.
all right,
We
that-
have seen
that
them a
makes
lot in
it-
NLC. If that helps.
Seen them a lot in NLC.
It's not something
we
we
should
see
we should
often.
watched a bit more NLC.
Thor would smile down.
Oh, so it's Volibear? Rune God Volibear? There. Olaf? Hey! Oh, I've never seen that splash before.
That is Glacial Olaf.
Yeah, that's the new Glacial Olaf. I haven't.
Yeah.
It's Glacial
I mean,
Olaf if you
pre-
want to bang that in.
Pre-reworked Glacial Olaf was.
Oh, yeah, mate. MS Paint, we love it. That's what it's for.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems we are no
I
closer
mean,
to knowing what the
I can't
situation is.
I can't speak
We've done
to
our best.
to situations like that, considering you want to know the oldest skins I own on my
Go on.
account. White Mage Vigar
Huge.
and Exile Morgana,
Can we?
which were
sort them
literally
by
just
release date?
chromas before chromas existed.
Can we sort them by release date? Hang on.
Sort by acquisition date.
You can sort by release date. Stuff that.
Nice.
Oh, you can.
The oldest skins that I own. That's not true. That's simply not true. Because I'm sorry, I own skins older than Zombie Slayer Jinx. I'm sure.
Oh, I would Brolaf, but like I have some really old skins, but including but not limited to Brolaf.
I think the first skin
My-
I ever bought was Frozen Nocturne.
My first 2 skins ever were Headhunter Yi and SSW Talon.
Bought that Headhunter U on release. It was alright. It had a really cool Q effect on the old Q, and then it just got removed. It used to like make like
look good, man.
splines as it moved between people. If you
Yeah,
are
there we go.
wondering
Okay.
what the flying fuck we're doing,
There we go.
we are waiting for the
we got it,
final
right?
decider game to maybe
First skin I
happen.
acquired. First skin I ever acquired. Judgment Kale on the 15th of September 2011.
Massive.
Yeah,
Absolutely massive.
mine was 2016.
I do have that one as well.
Oh,
Mine
and
18th of September 2016.
Do you guys miss the tribunal?
A little bit. It was kind of fun.
It was
I
massive
also-
data security issues.
Oh yeah. I want to point out and share my allegiance to two of my favorite champions. Wingtasar Xinjiao, acquired on the 16th of June 2012, and Ironscale Shyvana, bought on the 18th of June 2012. This is how long I've been playing these champs. Actually, speaking of, my boy Jin's getting some what I think to be pretty huge buffs to the way I like to play him, which is the bruisery style, where he's getting his passive now does % health healing rather than like a weird...
Oh, instead of damage scaling.
Yeah, he heals. So it's scaling based instead of scaling based on AD, he gets 3 to 4% of max health plus an AP ratio. If you want to really spice it up.
What would AP Zinzao do?
If he was in this game, he'd buy Lich Bane and carry you. That's what AP Zin would do.
Yes. We've devolved to karaoke, folks.
also
It's
the good
tough. It's so tough. We're still waiting for an update. It's very unlikely this game will be going ahead, but we appreciate you sticking with us.
Yeah,
Plenty
Kill
Oh,
and
Instalock. Oh, Songs of the Summoned. I nearly
Blame
entered
the
Songs of the
jungler.
Summoned.
Bloody
So
stand back
good.
and auto attack was hilarious because that was the name of the game when I was playing support because I used to just be Rakan and it's like I will go forward and tank everything. You just stay here. Just stay. Just don't. But my introduction to Plentykill was the Talon one that they did.
I can't remember what that was called. See, when I think Plentykill, I think
You are Azuma Rambo, you're a child.
Alton Gragas.
Can't believe you've done this. Oh boy.
That was Plentykill, right?
You're older than I am, aren't you, Rambo? If I get these, League Zoomer. Okay, never mind. I misread it.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah,
So
he-
the only
he
age
got
that
into
actually
League a lot
matters
later than the rest of
is
us.
how long you've been stuck in it. Bloxer, if you want to join in on this hell site, you're
Help
very
us, Matt.
welcome to. Give Zoe something to
We're
do
buying
because we're all
time.
stuck.
Yeah.
Well, we don't. Yeah, you don't even need camera, but
2019, bro. Nearly 10 years later than me.
Thoughts on I play
Giving
RuneScape in
me
background.
sass about editing splash arts. I see how
mate,
it is.
you know what? That's a good point. We went so long. I'm just gonna go back to leveling my classic WoW character. I've been doing WoW hardcore. I've been
you
doing
guys
classic
don't have to
hardcore
do it
as
if you
well.
don't want to. I'm just consigned to doing
I'm
every
joking.
game possible.
No. I'm here for the long haul, bro. Don't worry.
ARAM, right? Bloxer says they're ARAMing with Millie. She's beating me in kills. Should we spectate this
How?
game? Is that
How?
allowed?
Yes.
Sure, I can pull that
I
up.
think you can.
I can pull that up.
Sorry, Bloxer. If you don't want us to do this, you can tell us to stop.
Yeah,
We're really low on
we can-
content, and we're really happy you're
we
doing
can
this
put him
for
on-
us right now.
We can put him on blast.
We're not shaming Bloxer. We'll do him right. We'll cast this ARAM the way it should be casted. With 3 play-by-plays.
Yes, 2 colors
I mean,
flex in the
that's
play-by-play.
what
What
you
can go
need.
wrong?
That's what you need in it for like in ARAM.
No, I have one more, says Bloxer. I can hear game noises from somewhere, so something's about to happen. Alright, we are spectating this random, not completely random,
Beat me to it. You got him before I
ARAM
did.
game on EU West. You'll notice on the left team, Black Bloxer on the
Playing
Twitch.
bitch.
We'll have to find out if that's AP or AD in just a moment as we zoom in on this superstar color casting cat talent. They're biding their time. They're waiting behind the tower. The Blade of the Rune King complete. Max, they're looking for an absolute team fight. Fiesta, no worries at all. There will eventually be action.
It's the Talon action. The Karthus doing Karthus things, going forwards and
Are
dying.
we at different time points?
Quite possibly.
I think Will is
Oh,
watching.
I just had 30 seconds all at once.
Yeah,
Alright, the
same.
Talon did win. Unlucky Boxer. That's oh no, we're doing some live spectating. Get on Parsec, folks. Get on Parsec.
Yeah.
Talon does go in, does manage to find Nakatomi in the backline, the damage coming forwards, and getting out just in the nick of time.
And with that, the rest of the blue team have to fall back. It's not a good trade for them. We're going to see if the Talon can get an execute off. I think that's what he was looking to try and do.
See, Battery, you're right. It might be Blade into zero frontline, but it's Blade into style points. And that's really what matters.
Intriguing update, by the way, from the UK.
Let's leave that where it is, because that's gonna be its own little thing. We do have a timeline for tonight's game. We should know in 5 minutes.
Have you not started yet?
Wait,
oh mate, the
what's going on?
final game's a bit of a scene.
Bro!
Competition going a little bit deep there in this area, and blocks are farming excellently. Well done. All that CS, I'll belong to you. With no judgment, the Kale goes down like an absolute dinosaur. Double kill for Black Boxer. See, Battery, that's why you get the Blade of the Ruin King.
The ARAM content, goddamn.
This
We
is
have
what
to
it
find
is.
something.
Doctor, how did your games go? Give us the sit rep on the other stream for today.
But we did the same games.
Oh, bro, we did the same games all the way through.
Wait, no.
I started on Lions Creed.
Oh, okay, we did
Same
else.
second game though. We were
Oh, we did
broadening
Paragon,
up.
that's fun.
Yeah, you definitely did D5.
Did D5 broad.
Well, that was
Bars,
wrong.
I can't tell what's going on.
That was
No, we
real
did
rough.
a Paragon.
Hey, take us back in.
Paragon one, very good for them.
Lower the chopper.
News helicopter lowering now.
Oh god, alright. Good stuff, fun.
Oh
Too low.
dear,
She's just
Box is
trolling us at
surviving.
this
Just
point.
just on a snippet of health. Doctor's gonna go get his beauty sleep.
Much needed beauty
He,
sleep.
he's earned it.
We
He's earned it.
lost.
Bless
Oh
him.
no.
Alright, spoiler alert: blue team do not win this ARAM. It's
I
a bit of a
mean-
shame. They're even gold right now. Maybe it's a bit of a compositional difference. Maybe we can blame Riot Games as Mutation does a bit of an odd flash, but it just leads Bloxer into Dean. It's very unfortunate gaming. And Karth assaulting two people as one came off the fountain. That is big nuts here. Just laying it all out on the table.
Big nudge.
I mean, with Carthus on the opposing side, you have to be able to, you know, engage and do so with conviction. Otherwise, you are just going into every single fight, I think, active health disparity. Top that off, obviously, with the ARAM healing reduction.
It's a tough side. That's the most unusual chaos I've seen in years, but I'm not sure it works because none of Ash's teammates felt like being nice there. Wombat holding the Riven Shield for this 1v5 play that does not go to plan. It's a little bit of shame.
Yeah.
If we zoom in,
We're
that
gonna talk
tower
about
is
the tower.
real sad. Very beautiful. ARAM map as blocks are coming in, going for the pentakill. Side's better of it, but just trades 1v4 excellently. 0 health lost. All.
As the
of
renounce,
the
this would be
pride.
free if the fight was decided to be taken. It's Spray and Pray up, Spray and Pray is up.
Yeah, maybe we should have just pushed on.
Windwall
Did
is
get the
down.
wind wall out. Did get the wind wall out. That last engage. Thinking about it. Big nuts here with no mana.
Big nudge.
He's decided to go forwards and completely sprint it. Does get 3 Qs off onto the Asher though, which is just absolutely incredible. Versace going to the recycling bin.
Ooh, Magician actually gets out.
Oh, Sewer Scoots for everyone. Blocks it, dodges, ducks, dips, and dives. Will live.
Duskblade.
Draxler very fair. Oh, that's a balanced team differential. Very unfortunate.
Do we think that Duskblade is going to survive pre-season? In some form? Obviously, Mythics are going away as a whole, but you think some iteration on Duskblade could come back?
Probably.
It seems so.
Hopefully not this version. I think we can all agree that actually the untargetability was worse than the stealth.
Alright, we're still waiting for final check on tonight. It's very unlikely a game will be going forwards. So we're likely going to wrap up this ARAM. I think will likely be the end for tonight. We are waiting on the final decision from the operations team.
Hey!
All right. We do have the final answers. This team in front of us. Unfortunately, Paradox are unable to field a roster in their final game as the decision of the tournament admins. That means that Lions Creed Lionesses will be going through into that double elimination bracket. It's been a long night. We appreciate that. Yeah, it's maybe a bit of an odd situation to be in. Please keep yourself peeled to UKEL socials for further updates about the seeding for the second bracket. We're going to come back to our cameras so we can say goodnight. Just very quickly. All right, Braggish Zika, thank you for joining me for half an hour of complete time waster. We had a good time. We did our best.
Thanks for having me.
We watched an ARM. We played word games.
Here.
I'm gonna go do anything else.
Flop into bed. Yeah, good
Probably. I'm exhausted. I've been at work all day. I don't know what you guys have been up to. It's been tough.
Rest, buddy. I was meant to be. Wait, no, I wasn't meant to be working today. But my work is under unusual conditions. So.
Okay, Mr. Secret Services. Let's see how it is. Thank you both so much for joining. We'll have to actually get a cast in.
Yeah.
At some stage, we'll figure
One
something
day
out.
soon, I'm sure.
One day soon. There's plenty of UKEL qualifiers still to go. The double elimination bracket, which with that all important first and second division decider. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a long show. Zoe, you've been an absolute champ on production. We'll see you soon. Good night.